podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the premier networks all over the country, coast to coast, on Saturday, December 11th, 2021. This is episode 1851. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by userway.org. Userway ensures your website is accessible, ADA compliant, and helps your business avoid accessibility-related lawsuits. The perfect way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. It's not only the right thing to do, it's also the law. Go to userway.org/twit for 30% off Userway's AI-powered accessibility solution. And by Worldwide Technology, a platinum IBM business partner. With an innovative culture, thousands of IT engineers, application developers, unmatched labs, and integration centers for testing and deploying technology at scale, WWT helps customers bridge the gap between strategy and execution. To learn more about WWT, visit wwt.com/twit. And by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment. Right now, for a limited time, save 60% on your first 3 months of Audible. That's only $5.95 a month. Give yourself the gift of listening. For more, go to audible.com/techguy or text techguy to 500-500. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and home theater. Yes, this is a show where we talk about digital technology of all kinds. The metaverse, the Twitterverse, the Lunaverse. My partner in crime, Tech Guy 2, is joining me.
Hello.
Mr. Micah Sargent. Hey, how are you? Did you have a good week?
Oh, I had a great week, Leo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
How about you?
I hear you did. I did. You know what? I'm doing this crazy thing.
I would like to know, Leo. I have a feeling I know, but I'd like to know.
What crazy thing is Leo doing?
This is the latest thing.
Well, I kind of told you when I got here just a minute ago that I get a little distracted because I'm solving these crazy computer problems. It's called the advent of code. You know, an advent calendar.
Right, yeah. You get little chocolates that taste terrible.
Yeah, every day of the month leading up to Christmas.
They're ostensibly shaped like
25
crappy chocolates.
So this is the advent of code, which is computer programming problems, and there's 25 of them. Actually, there's 50 of them because there's 2 a day, but they're related. So like there's one problem, and then you do the first part, and then it says, okay, now that you've done that, let's completely throw you a curveball and do this. And it's really fun. There's the guy who does it, Eric Wastel, is obviously a very proficient coder. And I think this year 100,000 people are doing it. Wow. You'd have to be, I think most of them are probably professionals. A few of them are hobbyists like me. You'd have to be pretty serious about writing programs. Because they're tough problems.
They sound very complicated.
They get harder every day.
Yeah.
I've never finished. I've never gotten to the end. In fact, I'm currently farther than I've ever been. Usually I poop out about day 5 or 6. It's like, I don't know. Last year it was some sort of crazy luggage problem. So the story of the advent of code is it's a Christmas story always, usually involving Santa and the elves. This year, unfortunately, Santa dropped his keys. And he didn't drop them in just any place. He dropped them in the ocean, and they've fallen deep within the ocean. Fortunately, the elves have a submarine. I know, it's a little far-fetched. So they hop in the submarine, and then you have to solve various problems to get to the keys. Maybe we're trying to save Christmas. Every year he's been doing this since 2015.
Okay.
And every year you're trying to save Christmas by computer programming.
I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah. I'm sorry. 180,000 people completed day 1. Thank you, Edisync. He's doing it, I know, in our chat room. It tapers off, though, considerably. But, a tenth of them will continue all the way through the end. But mostly they're professionals. And then there's 2 ways to play. There's the way I play, which is in a more leisurely fashion. Ideally, I'd like to finish it every day so I can keep up. I'm on day 8. and this is December 11th, so I'm 3 days behind. But I'm going to try to catch up tonight. The problem is you can't, at my coding speed, you can't have a life because, but there are then there are like competitive programmers. Did you know there was a category called competitive programmers? They're like race car drivers.
Holy moly. So they're all competing against one another?
They're competing against each other for speed. So they solve it in seconds. Oh, because so everybody gets a different problem set, but everybody's answer is known to Eric. So when you get your problem set, the problem's the same, but the input data is different. Oh. When you get your problem set, you solve it, and you submit the answer. And at that point, ding, 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 the timer goes off, and that's your time. And then the first person that gets 100 points, first person to submit the answer, second person 99, all the way down for the first 100 people. And then they add up the points as you go. And so there are people literally who are solving these problems that take me days in seconds.
Wow.
They're obviously, there's a whole category, as I said, of competitive programmers. But I was thinking as I was coming in, obviously that's an elite. Those are the grand masters of computer coding. And some very heavy-duty people, like a legendary coder, perhaps the greatest of all time, at least the greatest of our generation, Peter Norvig, who works at Google. He did them last year. I haven't checked to see if he's doing them this year. I'm trying not to see any spoilers,
Right.
I want to do it all on my own. But Peter does them, of course, very quickly. And he also, more importantly, does them very elegantly. And so his solutions are always fascinating.
Oh, so he'll actually publish his solutions.
Well, that's the other thing you can do, and I'm doing it. You can publish, typically put them up on GitHub or somewhere like that where other people can see them. If you search GitHub for AOC, you'll see a lot of people solving them in a variety of languages. So it's fun, after you've done the problem to look at how other people solved it. It's a great way to learn coding. But this is what made me think. I think this would be a great thing for a school, like a high school. If you had a high school coding class, I'm just saying this right now to people who are teaching programming in maybe high school or college to be appropriate to. This would be a fun thing to do with the class. It'd be really fun. You can have your own private leaderboards. Our podcast network has our own private leaderboard.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's just you?
No.
Oh, there are other people.
Who
else is participating?
Let me just check our leaderboard and see who's winning. It's not me.
Oh, the network. I was thinking the company.
Twit. No. Private leaderboard. John Arnold set it up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
Nice.
John and Jay Kombrowski and Mark Harrison and Jillian Law are all in there. John is winning. He's solved all 11 of the puzzles. It looks like he's all 10, I guess, because the puzzle comes out at 9 p.m. tonight, Pacific time, midnight Eastern. So day 11 will be tonight. Maybe
I'll participate next year.
You should. You want to learn coding, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And,
it's a little over my head right now, but...
it's not, you don't have to...
It says you don't need a computer science background.
Yeah, it would help. I don't have one, but it would help. Because some of the problems require... Well, in the past, some of the problems have... famously last year, problem 13, day 13,
Unlucky
you needed
13.
to know, and I didn't get there, so I don't have to worry about it, but you needed to know something called the Chinese remainder theorem.
Oh, right.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah, the CRT.
Yeah, CRT, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So a number of people were left behind at that point, but I think if you had a computer science degree, maybe you'd recognize it, and maybe you'd recognize it. Out of sync, you're not on the leaderboard? Yeah. I'll put the code in the chat room.
You have to solve a problem to get on the...
No, the code number for it. But anyway, in fact, anybody who wants to, I'll put the code number up there if you want to do it.
Is the creator just the most brilliant scientist, computer scientist?
Well, he's got
alive?
a certain skill.
Who is the...
Eric Wastel.
Eric Wastel.
And he's a professional programmer. Works... I don't know when he does this because he has a day job to do this. He's a senior architect at TCG, the #1 marketplace for trading card games. TCG player. That's his job, day job.
That's pre-NFT.
But I have a feeling his employers say, yeah, go ahead, Eric. Take the second half of the year off. He writes all of these problems. He has to do more. He not only has to create the problem, and I think he gets help from the community, But I think he also has, not only has to create it and solve it, but then he has to generate unique problem sets for many, many different, because you don't want to have everybody have the same answer. So everybody gets a different, otherwise I could just say the answer is 15 and everybody would know.
Right.
That would be no fun. So that's why it'd be fun for a school to do it, because every student could have their own problem set and their own answer.
You should interview Eric.
I would love to interview Eric because he's got to be crazy.
Just to hear the process. How do you gear up for the... I want to know all of that. Even if I never participate, just knowing.
He's been on a few podcasts and stuff. So Scooter X says, today is also a big day. It's the Financial Modeling World Cup Finals. Are you good at Excel, the spreadsheet? The number one, first place, Diarmuid Early from New York at Early Days Consulting. Second place currently, Anup Argawal from Bengaluru. And from London, Andrew Ngai, or Nye. The Financial Modeling World Cup is going on this weekend entirely in Microsoft Excel. Oh, by the way, the prize, $10,000 donated by Microsoft. 128 people from all over the world. They qualified, started qualifications November 13th. But today is the big finale. So I know everybody's very excited. Each round consists of case studies, a problem between 1 and 5 pages long. It sounds very much like the advent of code, but the big difference is you have to solve it in Excel. Are you good at spreadsheets?
I get better every day. I don't think I could be this good, though.
You can actually watch the finals on YouTube.
I might actually watch this.
FMWC Open Finals. There's a big spreadsheet open right now. We see the commentators. We see Bill Jellin, my good friend, Mr. Excel, is one of the commentators. He's a brilliant Excel user. It's fascinating.
Pivot tables.
It's fascinating. So we're watching Andrew and Tim kind of bash away at this. The World Cup.
Who knew?
It's funny how humans like to compete, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
And they like to gather around mutual interests.
Yeah.
It's based on our
It's cool. And thanks to
tribal
YouTube,
history.
You can watch this stuff now. You would never see the Financial Modeling World Cup finals on, NBC's channel. But you might see it on YouTube. We just finished the World Championship of Chess. That's over now, by the way. I won't tell you who won in case you're...
I know there was a big flub by one of the contestants.
3 flubs, and that really put him out of the... Yeah. So, but that's another example of, watching on TV. We talked about this last week. You can... There's a 20-minute synopsis on NBC Sports, but you can watch the whole game, all 5 to 8 hours of it, on YouTube. In fact, there's multiple ways to watch it. Many different channels with different commentators, and it's like, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube. But that's neither here nor there because we have a show to do. I don't know. Anyway, I was explaining why I was just a little late getting here. Didn't mean to scare you and Professor Laura and, Kim and everybody. I'm here now, but my mind is in a submarine below the ocean searching.
What color is that submarine?
Probably yellow. Searching for Santa's keys. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. We're going to get back to the Excel spreadsheet solving in a moment. No, we'll answer your calls right after this. Phone angel, buzz, buzz. Hello, Kim Schaffer.
That is all you're going to get right now is a busy signal. I'm warning you.
The lines are jammed. Is it people looking to buy a holiday gift for the geek in their life? No.
No.
That's a good I say that every year when I do the promos for the holiday shows, the December shows, I say, and I know it's hard to buy a gift for the geek in your life. I'll help you. And no one ever asks because you know what? They just want to spend money on themselves.
The geeks? Is
the
that what you
geeks.
mean? Yeah.
They are the geeks.
I see.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Who should I start with?
So far, none of these are you spending their money. It's actually just help. So let's go to Estin in Kansas City, Kansas, looking for a video editing software.
Okay.
For a short documentary.
I can do that too. It doesn't have to be hardware. We can buy software. Yep. Santa's ecumenical.
Ecumenical.
Yeah. She doesn't mind bringing... Boy, I'm really trying. They don't mind bringing
good Lord.
Gifts of all kinds, software and hardware. Thank you, Kim. Hello, Estin, Leo Laporte, the tech guy, along with Micah Sargent, tech guy too. You got the both of us.
Hi, I'm creating a short film documentary for my history class.
How old are you?
I'm
Estin?
14.
15. So this is like 8th grade?
Freshman year.
Freshman in high school. And are you guys meeting in person, or are you still working out of the house?
Oh, we are in person right now.
Oh, isn't that nice? Much better, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Nice. So you're taking a history class.
Mm-hmm.
And the assignment, or this is extra? Is this extra credit?
So this is for a program called National History Day.
Oh, neat.
And
I'm not familiar with that.
you create different history projects, and I'm creating a documentary.
I bet, these days, in my day, it would have been a 15-page hand-typed paper, or maybe a clay model of Stonehenge, which I did do. But nowadays, sure, a video, nhd.org. Cool. So what is your video going to be about?
It's going to be about the 1973 oil crisis.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Long gas lines. Jimmy Carter. The Arab oil boy. What do they call that when they say no more oil for you? Anyway, okay, cool. And are you on a Mac or a PC?
It is a PC.
Okay. Both Macs and PCs these days come with kind of simple video editing software, but you might want something a little bit better. Do you need to put it on a DVD at the end, or how do you deliver it? Or not these days, you probably upload it, right?
Yeah, I should upload MP4.
Yeah. So have you played with Microsoft's video editor program? It's not very good, but
I have not.
At least you have it. It's on Windows. So it's called Video Editor. Boy, there's a name. That's an inspiring name, isn't it? Used to be called Movie Maker. Now it's Video Editor. But there are absolutely better programs. But given you got it and it's free, see if it'll do what you want to do. Is it just editing stuff? What exactly are you? How fancy are you getting? Do you need to do titles and all that?
I would like to do a couple titles.
Yeah, transitions. You want dissolves, star wipes, things like that.
Yeah, all of those are
all of the above. Yeah, so you want, look, you grew up watching very sophisticated, video, and so you want to do the same thing. Do you watch YouTube channels?
I do.
What's your favorite YouTube channel?
I like a car YouTube channel called The Stradman. He's a vlogger.
And is it pretty well edited?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. So that's setting the bar. James is a supercar fan, and he does some pretty good editing. So you're kind of thinking something along that line, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be quite as crazy. But...
Yeah. It's funny because my son, he's now 27, but when he was your age, he started doing a lot of video editing. Now he's a TikTok superstar. He's got 1.7 million followers. So there is a future in this. I might have mocked it in years gone by, but there is a future in this. So it's a good thing to learn. I think the least expensive but most powerful choice would be Premiere Elements from Adobe. It's under $100. Do you have a budget?
I would like it to be as cheap as possible.
Cheap as possible. Well, look at the video editor in Windows. And then there are open source free video editors as well. They're harder to use, but they're just as powerful. Hang on, we got to take a break, but I'll talk about that when we come back. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Shouldn't have asked you so many questions. Oh, yeah, it was Nixon in 70. It was 70. Carter was 76, so it was the Nixon. But there was a fuel crisis under Carter, as I remember. So, yeah, okay. 73, you had OPEC. All right. I would say the open source video editor that actually the one that I would really look at is DaVinci Resolve, which is free.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And that's a professional, very good, very powerful. How fast is your system?
Not very.
Not very. It might be too high end for you, but that one is free, DaVinci Resolve. So you can at least try it. There's a paid version of it, but DaVinci Resolve free is very good.
All right.
Let me think on a lower end video editing program.
There are two open source ones I keep seeing coming up, Shotcut and OpenShot.
Yeah, I haven't used either of
and
those.
I have not used either of them.
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
I know a lot of good audio editors you can get for free, but
yeah, isn't that funny? Video's a little harder to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do like Shotcut. I see. K10 Live is the one, but that's Linux only, unfortunately. That's the one I was thinking of, but that's Linux only. So tell me about your PC. How old is it?
It is, I think, 3 years old.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. There's a lot more stuff for Linux. I don't see a lot of... Let's see. Here's Windows. Okay. VidCutter is a very simple free version that is but mostly just for cutting. It won't have a lot of dissolves and wipes and things like that. Can you get mom and dad to spring for... this is for a national competition. Get them to spring for something a little better. Just tell them, look, Leo's son now is making a living as doing videos, so I want to do that. Do you think it's something you might want to do as you get older?
I'm actually looking to become a mechanical engineer.
Even better. Even better. So you like the tech. Well, look at... Okay, so the free, you've already got it, video editor on Windows 10. For about $80 or $90, you can get Premiere Elements. If you can get somebody to spring for it, or maybe mow some lawns. Or I guess today's would be shoveling some snow.
Shovel some snow, yeah. Especially in KCK.
Yeah. Is it snowing yet?
It has not yet.
Oh.
It's getting really windy, though.
Yeah, I bet. Here it comes. We're getting a big storm tonight.
I'm sure is
huge storm tonight. I think we should take a look at that. What is it? Shotcut. Take a look at Shotcut.
Right.
Is that free?
Yep.
That's a good deal.
Free and open source. Shotcut.org.
Everybody seems to like that. I've not. I should probably try it and see. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Anything that does timeline editing, and this is timeline editing, will be good to learn because that's the standard. That's what eventually you'll use with Premiere or Final Cut or Avid, one of the big editors. You'll do timeline editing, and this looks like a timeline editor. So that's good because then you get to kind of get used to this. And these are really skills that translate very well. So yeah, Shotcut. Nice that it's free. I think we're gonna go with that. Hey, have fun. Let me know how you do, okay, Estin?
I will.
All right.
Best of luck.
Take care. Hey, Scotty. Welcome home.
Hey, Leo.
Welcome back, Scott.
We're gonna do our Scotty thing here.
The Scotty thing.
The Scotty thing.
Beam me up.
Oh, K10 Live is on Windows. Okay, well, that would be another good one. I've used K10 Live on Linux, and that's a good one. Excuse me, we're watching the Excel FMWC Open right now. We can't be doing any of this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Do we have a winner now in the FMWC Open, the Financial Modeling World Cup? Is there a winner yet? I don't know. It's very exciting. I guess there is. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's, like videotaping it. Hey, Scott Wilkinson, home theater geek, back from Santa Cruz, contributor to TechHive.com, and our regular AV man from the North Pole. He has a little Santa vibe going. Did you go to see the 3D display, the new 3D display?
I did. Oh, man.
Really?
Oh, man. It's really good.
Micah, this was Micah's assignment for you, is to go.
Yes, I've been waiting to hear about it.
Well, it's pretty amazing. I've got a pretty extensive article on TechHive. Right at the top of the homepage, techhive.com, you'll see my article about
Tell us what
light.
it is. What is it?
Okay, so it's a company called Lightfield Lab, started in 2017. And the technology, they've called it solid light, which is actually a really good name.
It's the old idea, though, going back to Star Wars. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope of
That
a holographic projection. In this case, it was R2-D2 projecting Princess Leia.
Correct.
And, we've seen this in sci-fi for years, but
it's a staple of sci-fi. Absolutely. There's Princess Leia. There is
Back to the Future, Marty McFly.
Back to the Future, Marty McFly.
The Doctor
shark
in Star
that comes
Trek.
out.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. The holodeck in Star Trek. But those things all break the laws of physics in one way.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I hate when that happens.
Well, what does that mean? How could they work if they break the laws of physics?
Well, because it's special effects. They can do anything.
Oh, they're faking it, in other words.
They're faking it, exactly. But this isn't. This is the real deal. So basically, what they're doing is they're replicating how light works in the real world. So in the real world, you look at an object, you've got light in the real world from the sun or lamps or whatever source. It hits the object, it reflects off the object, bunch of different directions. The light goes in a bunch of different directions, and some of it enters your eye, and you see your eye detects these light rays. And it looks three-dimensional because you have two eyes. And the point is that the light is coming from particular directions. And if you move around the object, the light is coming from a different direction than it did before.
That's why we can walk around, stuff and look at it. Like you're at a museum, you can go see what's behind David.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And also the object that you're looking at occludes or blocks whatever's behind it.
Object that you're looking. Oh yeah. So you can't see the wall behind David because he's in the way. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. But then when you move around David, you suddenly see the part of the wall that you couldn't see before.
Oh my God, he's naked. I'm sorry. We'll use something else. You get the idea. Okay.
Yeah. So what Lightfield Lab is doing with this technology is it's replicating exactly that. And what they need to do that is they need to scale up the number of quote-unquote pixels or light rays by many orders of magnitude over what we do now. So a 4K display, right? Your standard 4K TV has 8 million pixels. A 8K TV has 33 million pixels.
Wait a minute. I thought an 8K would have 8 million. Okay, so my math is off.
No, your math is off.
Okay.
Has 33 million
33
pixels.
million. Okay.
Yep. The solid light panel that Lightfield Lab makes has 10 billion pixels.
Oh, that's a lot. A lot more than an 8K display.
A lot more.
Are they firing, though, in different directions or just
Yes.
straight? Okay.
Yes.
That's why, because you have to be able to walk around it.
Exactly, and that's the point.
Is it?
And that's why you need so many.
What is it? What does the display look like?
It's a flat panel tiled modular display, exactly like a micro LED tiled video wall.
How big is it?
The tile itself is 20 inches on a side, 28 inches diagonal, square.
So you can't walk all the way around it because it's a flat panel.
No, it's not 100. It's not 100%.
But you can walk back and forth.
Well, the demo that I saw had a viewing angle that you could walk around 100 degrees.
Oh, that's quite a bit. That's almost all the way around.
Which is pretty good.
So they're really kind of targeting this for a television or other visual display.
Yeah, the first applications are going to be in like museums or corporate video walls, or dig this, virtual production. You've heard this before, right? Where shows like The Mandalorian have a video wall, an LED, micro LED video wall behind the actor. So instead of green screen, you've got this video wall showing the scene that the actor is playing upon. Well, what if that video wall actually had a 3D scene behind it? It would look much more realistic.
So I guess I understand there are plenty of applications. You'd also have Zoom calls this way and so forth. But let's talk about the thing that you looked at. You said it looked pretty good? Is it solid?
It looked really, it's
like
solid.
Princess Leia was kind of like, Ghost.
Kind of, you could sort of see through her, right?
Yeah.
Not this. This is solid. I was looking at this chameleon. It's a computer-generated chameleon. And I was looking at it, and there were plants behind it completely occluded, completely blocked. It was
and as you moved, the background, you had perspective. The background shifted differently than the foreground. So you said an interesting thing, computer-generated. Can you do this with video, or do you have to?
You can, but it requires a volumetric data set. Okay,
yeah,
so it requires
a lot of points.
A lot of points. You could do it if you had a bunch of cameras, for example, around what you were filming.
Okay, like bullet time with the Matrix. Okay,
exactly. You could do it that way, but for now, the technology is mostly using volumetric data from things like Unity or Unreal.
So, digitally created stuff. So that means we're not going to see it on a Zoom call because you'd need a special camera to do it on a Zoom call. The reason I mentioned that is because Google supposedly has something similar for video conferencing. This is very different, though, it sounds like.
Yeah,
but it works.
It works. It works really well. In fact, they said, go try to touch the chameleon. And so I did. And, of course, my hand passed right through it. Dig this. They gave me a magnifying glass, and I could look at the chameleon through the magnifying glass, and it worked as if the chameleon were a real thing.
What? You mean it got
bigger?
Show
pixels?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of breaks my brain a little bit.
Yeah. The heck?
So is it like projecting the light into empty space? That's how this is working?
That's exactly what it's doing. That's exactly what it's doing.
And you can move around and you're seeing different bounced off light rays as you move around. Correct. It's just like you would in the real world.
Correct.
The problem, of course, is generating the 8 billion pixels.
Yeah, what kind of computer has to be connected to this?
It's a lot of data.
They've got basically a huge parallel processing system with FPGAs, field programmable gate arrays, which are basically programmable processors, and they've got a bunch of them in these tiles.
You have to feed it coal every couple of hours.
So the Gecko is a model done in Unity or Unreal Engine.
Unity or something,
And then they've got this massive computer generating it. I mean, now, it works, which is cool.
It works,
but we're quite a way from content looking like
well,
this.
they're saying.
Hey, Scott, before we run out of time, Tubas tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 3:00 Pacific time. It'll be in the show notes.
Tell us the URL.
Facebook.com/Tubop.
Tubop. TUBOP.
Yep.
Our show today, the Tech Guy Podcast, brought to you by the UserWay folks. Love UserWay. They're doing the work of the angels by making websites accessible. 60 million Americans have disabilities. Chiefly, I think, if you're blind and you're using a screen reader, so many websites are just inaccessible, right? The nav menus don't work. Images are just blanks. UserWay fixes it for the 60 million Americans with disabilities, all kinds of disabilities, with one line of JavaScript. It's an amazing, amazing product. So good that 1 million websites now use UserWay, including some of the biggest websites in the world. Walmart uses it, Coca-Cola, eBay, FedEx. Disney uses UserWay to make their websites accessible. Now, there's a number of reasons why you would want to do this. Of course, it's the right thing to do, right? Plus, there's, that's 60 million Americans who will do business with you if your site were just accessible to them. There's also, I don't want to pressure you, but it's also a legal requirement. All websites are public entities. And the Americans with Disability Act, thanks to Bob Dole, late Bob Dole, requires that you make them accessible. Fortunately, it's really easy with UserWay and very affordable, too. Now their enterprise product that's really changed the world for enterprises, big ones like eBay and Disney, is available at a lower cost for small businesses, medium business. One line of JavaScript, that's it. UserWay can achieve more than an entire team of developers, makes your website accessible. It's easy to use. It's cost-effective. Now, before you do anything, you should probably go to userway.org/twit. They have a little scanning tool there and just see how compliant or not compliant your site is. And then, of course, after you do that, you might want to check out userway.org/twit and use it. We got a great deal for you, and it works everywhere. It works with my hand-coded sites, but it also works with WordPress and Shopify and Wix and AEM, Sitecore, SharePoint. It would work with your GoDaddy site. It would work anywhere you can put that line of JavaScript in. It integrates seamlessly. It fixes those complex, weird nav menus, which really, honestly, is a big problem. Your shopping cart, it'll fix that so it's accessible. Forms, it generates alt tags for all the images. That's why it needs AI, because it looks at the image. It uses image recognition to say, oh, yeah, it's a Golden Gate Bridge, and they'll add that. You can add more if you want. In fact, after you run it, you'll get a detailed report of all the violations that were fixed, and you can go in there. It gives you an easy way to do that and say, that's the Golden Gate Bridge at sunset, buddy, and make it even better. I think UserWay is brilliant, but you don't have to just listen to me. Listen to the voice of Siri. She's got a message about UserWay.
Hi, I'm Susan Bennett, the original voice of Siri. You won't hear me say something like this too often. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're looking for. But every day, that's what the internet is like for millions of people with disabilities. UserWay fixes all of that with just one line of code.
It's so easy. Anybody can do it, and it's really affordable, but we're going to make it even more affordable. Right now, 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution. UserWay. It can make any website fully accessible, ADA compliant. That's important. Avoid ADA lawsuits. With UserWay, everyone who visits your site can browse seamlessly and customize it to fit their needs. It's a great way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. And it's also the right thing to do. Go to userway.org/twit, userway.org/twit for 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution. UserWay, making the internet accessible for everyone. userway.org/twit. We thank them so much for supporting the Tech Guy podcast. And you're supporting us when you use that address, so please do. userway.org/twit. Now back to the show. Love the monkeys. Playing this to commemorate the passing of Mike Nesmith, the great monkey. My wife said, did they have a TV show? I said, yes, honey. They were the Ersatz Beatles that the TV network said, the Beatles are so big, we've got to have something. They put an ad in Variety saying, looking for actors who can play musical instruments. They got Davy Jones, Mike Nesmith, who was Peter Tork was the cute one. And I'm trying to remember who the fourth one was. And they had mop tops, just like the Monkees, right? And they actually got some of the best songwriters in the world, like Neil Diamond and Neil Sedaka, to write songs for them. And they actually made some hits like this, Wake Up Sleepy Jean. That's Davy Jones singing. So Mike Nesmith. Mickey, that's right. I forgot about Mickey Dolenz. So now, well, we got can't believe I can remember all four names of the Monkees. Well, three of the four anyway. I wanted to give you the full plug because we got the address wrong. So tomorrow, Scott Wilkinson's going to be playing the tuba. He's going to play some of his own songs. He's going to play some of his father's songs. And he's also going to play one of his own compositions, which is Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas. He'll be playing with other tuba players. The reason this is important is we're not doing Tuba Christmas this year. It's been called off due to COVID. Can't get the venue and all that. So this is your chance. If you miss Tubonic Christmas carols, this is your chance. Here's the Facebook address. It's facebook.com/tuboplive, TUBOP live. And it's actually a podcast called Conical Supremacy. Obviously, that's a tuba joke, I guess. If you go there on the right, you'll see a link to the YouTube that you can go to, the YouTube channel, and watch tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Get some holiday music and watch. And frankly, if Santa were going to play any instrument, it would be a tuba. And if you look at Scott Wilkinson, it kind of looks like Santa. So you'll get to imagine what it would be if Santa was playing the tuba. Facebook.com/tuba P live, Tubop, TUBOP live. And so thank you, Scott, for. I'm sorry we didn't get the plug in time, and I kind of messed it up, but there you go. 'Tis the season. Tuba Jolly. On with the show. Deanna is on the line from El Dorado Hills, California. Hello, Deanna.
Hey, Leo, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good because I got through to talk to you. I'm a longtime listener, never called before.
Welcome.
But I'm kind of at the end of my rope with
Thank
Dell
you.
Corporation.
Oh, the Dell Corporation, dang them. What are they doing to you?
Well, I'll try and make a long story short. Exactly a year ago, I purchased an XPS desktop computer. Since then, I've had nothing but problems with it. I paid for premium support, which allegedly was premium support.
Dell has, so there's levels of premium support. The more there's premium support plus, there's premium support gold. So what depends on what you paid for. The best support is that they, after they do the remote diagnosis, they come to you and fix it. Have they done that?
Well, that's what it says. That's what it says I have, and they have not done that.
Okay, I guess you're stuck in that weasel word, remote diagnosis. So
they've done 5 times.
So what is your computer doing?
Well, and I'm not really asking you to troubleshoot it.
No.
I'm kind of done with how the heck can I get to somebody who's going to resolve this problem, because conveniently the warranty expired yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. No. But they've been working on it before the warranty expired, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you should be covered, So what I would do, and this is a good little tip, write to the boss, Michael Dell. His name's in the company name. He's the CEO. And when you write to him, almost all executives, Dell certainly, will have a office of the executive where they respond to these kinds of messages. Tell them you talked about it on national radio with Leo Laporte, and Leo said, well, I'm sure Dell wants to make you whole. I'm sure Dell wants to make you whole. I think actually Dell's a decent company. I do recommend Dell's. We buy Dell's at work for our office. Every computer company is going to have a lemon from time to time. But the real test of a good company is how they support you if you get one. And it doesn't sound like they've done a good job. And you paid a lot for that Premium Support Plus. Yeah.
I did. And let me just tell you, I mean, this isn't my first rodeo with Dell. I mean, I've been a Dell customer since 2008. And I have never had a problem.
Yeah, so make sure you tell him that, too, when you email him. It's Michael, by the way, at Dell.com.
Really? Awesome.
It's easy to remember. At least it used to be.
I even went on their Twitter account, and I was.
That's a good way to do it, too. Tweet at Dell and Dell Support. That's a very good way to do it.
Is they shoved me off into private messaging, is what they did.
Yeah, they don't want it in public. So you keep it in public. Because that's when they're going to... Twitter, it turns out, and it's kind of funny because, Twitter has a big name, but not that many people really pay attention to Twitter. But boy, companies hate it if you expose them in public on Twitter. So that's a very good way to get to a company. But I would email Michael at Dell.com. Tell him this. I love Dell. I've owned Dell computers for years. But this one has really been a problem. And frankly, after weeks of trying, your support has not fixed it. I bought Premium Support Plus. I expect on-site service, but they refuse to fix it on-site because they keep doing this. He'll fix it. He'll fix it.
Okay.
Because this is, in other words, this is escalating. And why escalate, to your when you call this support? Give me your supervisor when you can go right to the top. Just go to the top.
Well, that's what I was looking for. It's just like, how in the world, because I could never get a, quote, supervisor. And there's just no way around. But I love this. I appreciate this because I'm going to do that because I've filled out all their surveys. I'm going to go back. I hate Twitter personally. I reactivated my Twitter account just to call them out.
Yeah. So do this. The first sentence should be a very quick summary because he's not going to he's not going to read the whole thing, but then document it in the rest of the letter, all the stuff you've been through, just so they have it a record. And if you've got a case number and all that, make sure that's in there too. What's going to happen is Michael's not going to look at it, but his office of the executive will look at it. Yeah. Well, but they do. Most companies, I'm presuming Dell's one of them, pay attention to this stuff. So his office of the executive is going to get it, and they're going to escalate it for you, and just make sure you mention. And Leo's waiting to hear what happens. And that way, there's a little bit more public pressure. It's a shame you have to do this, but it sounds like, you do. So I'm sorry. Okay. And you're right, Dell, you've had good experiences with Dell up to now. Really, there's no computer company in the world that doesn't make a lemon every once in a while, or any company. That happens. What we really measure these companies by is how they stand behind the lemons, how they protect the customers. And if a company does that, then it's a good company, So Dell makes good computers, but they need to stand behind the ones that aren't perfect.
Absolutely. And I mean, literally, I was looking up the California lemon law.
Yeah, there is a lemon law for computers, actually. But it's not as good as the car lemon law. The other thing to do after the show is done, we're going to put a podcast of it. Send them the recording of this conversation, because Deanna, and then I want you to call me back and tell me how it went. Okay. Good luck, Deanna. I hope this works. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. And now we give you Santa Who Wants a Tuba for Christmas. Tuba. So is this in lieu of Tuba Christmas, kind of?
It kind of, yeah. The problem is because I'm not doing the normal Tuba Christmas, I can't call it Tuba Christmas officially.
Oh, yeah, because there's a national Tuba Christmas organization.
There's a national organization, yes.
The National Association.
And there are a number of Tuba Christmases that are happening around the country, all outdoors.
Yeah.
And I almost had a venue at USC. I almost had an outdoor venue at USC. And then they pulled the plug and they said, we're not going to do any programming during finals week.
Oh.
Which is when I could do it. So I can't do a real Tuba Christmas. So we're calling this one Christmas Tubas.
Close enough. Do you have control of TubaChristmasLA.com?
I do.
You could have that redirect to the video.
Well, actually, my friend Mike Mann in the chat room, just did. He just redirected 2021.tubachristmasla.com.
Oh, good. So I'll give that out.
Give that one out.
It is tomorrow, though, right?
Correct.
Well, the good news is I have a show tomorrow before 3, so I'll plug it again before.
If you could, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
And then
what's nice about these is you don't have to be in the LA area to attend.
Correct.
So I kind of like these remote ones.
I agree with you on that. I sent out a big blast over the last few days to, basically my PR list and, all my friends around the country, around the world.
Good.
To tune in, because otherwise I'm only sending a blast to people in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope you can tune in. Now, you might have something to do at 3 o'clock.
I have a thing called Twit. It's just a little show.
I'm going to be tuning in. I've got the reminder set up. I'm looking forward to it.
Micah's day off, so he can do it.
I appreciate that. No,
fun.
Please do.
Fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be out on one of the players' driveway.
You're gonna. So I was going to ask how you solved the latency issue. You are going to be together.
Yeah. We're going to be physically together.
So that's a perfect way to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And 2021.tubachristmasla.com will also redirect. But Micah, thank you so much for making a bit.ly.
Yeah, bit.ly/tubop live.
Yep, that'll be fine too.
Yeah.
So there are lots of ways to get there.
Many ways.
I love it. Many ways to get there, and I hope those of you who are watching and listening in on the stream will tune in. Yes, Mike B. TubaChristmas.com/select location will tell you where there is an actual Tuba Christmas. They did it in Boston, outdoors, over the Thanksgiving weekend. Jeez. They're doing it in New York. They always do it outdoors in New York at the Rockefeller Center. There have been a few in Southern California, smaller ones. I didn't want to do it indoors, and I couldn't get an outdoor venue. So, yes, Mike B., that's correct. TubaChristmas.com lets you see where Tuba Christmases are being held around the country and around the world, really. Hamster MH, Kazoo Christmas still hasn't taken off, nor has Trumpet Christmas. I saw a video once of somebody trying to do a trumpet Christmas, and it really didn't work. Yes, Dr. Mom, Grandma, spraying COVID Omicron out of the bells of tubas. The venue that we had required that all the tubas have cloth coverings over their bells. And believe it or not, those are now made that are supposedly acoustically transparent, but I didn't want to require everybody to buy one. Flugelhorn Christmas, Alan Gabriel. Actually, I have in the past had flugelhorns at Tuba Christmas because they are, after all, soprano tubas. They're conical, and if you'll recall, the name of the podcast we will be on tomorrow is Conical Supremacy. And that is what Chuck Mangione plays, Archandra. That's exactly right. It's basically a trumpet, a conical trumpet-sized instrument, but I count it as a soprano tuba, so I've had it. Loquacious, would the cover muffle the sound of the tuba? Potentially, yes. There are cloths, like speaker grill cloth, for example, that does not muffle. So if you made a cloth cover over for a tuba bell or any brass bell out of speaker grill fabric, it shouldn't be a problem at all. And there are companies that sell musical instrument accessories and sheet music and stuff like that sell that kind of thing, and they sell these cloth covers that don't muffle the sound. But hey, Mike Heiss, give a conical for Hanukkah. Exactly right. Jay, French horns do not count. They are conical. You're exactly right about that. But they are in a different family of instruments. Now, we do allow Wagner tubas in Tuba Christmas, and those are more or less closer to the French horn family than the tuba family. But since they have tuba in their name, we make an exception in their case. So, bell barrier. Yes, Scooter X. Let me take a look at that. Bellbarrier.com. That's probably exactly what it is. Yep, that's exactly what it is. You put that on your horn, and it does definitely reduce the amount of particulate emanations. Dr. Mom, Grandma, sousaphone? Absolutely. We love sousaphones at Tuba Christmas. We usually line them up in the back. And in fact, sousaphones very often have cloth covers over their horns, over their bells. They have for years with the school logo or things like that. So that's a very common thing. Got brass, indeed. So yeah. Again, I hope you all tune in tomorrow. It'll be loads of fun. Let's see, where am I Zoom wise? I got 1 minute and 30 seconds. So if anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to address them.
Sufganiat. Oh, sorry.
What?
Sufganiat.
What is Sufganiat?
They are Hanukkah donuts. Jelly donuts. They're so
jelly
good.
Donuts, of course.
They're so good.
In fact, Dr. Mom Grandma asked me earlier if I could play tuba after eating some of those.
No,
and the answer is
cannot.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, because you get little Sufganiat crumbs in your bell.
Exactly, and sugar, which is a bad thing.
Sugar in the bell.
Tuba. Yeah,
sugar
bad.
in the bell's not good.
Bad, very bad.
I love Sufganiat. I love latkes too.
Oh, I do too. We had latkes when I was up in Santa Cruz for last night of Hanukkah.
Oh,
it was delicious.
Is that why you went up for Hanukkah?
No, I went up for a memorial.
Oh, that's right. All right. That's
Close
right.
friend of mine who died.
You
the
sat
memorial
Shiva?
was phenomenal. What's that?
Did you sit Shiva? No, nobody does that anymore.
We played sack butts.
Sack butts, even better.
We played sack butts. He was an early music guy. He taught me most of what I know about early music.
Oh, wow.
So we got to play some sack butt
I
quartets.
love early music. When I want to hear, just great music, I listen to those medieval sack butts. All right, I got to run.
Man.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks. See you next week.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here. I should get a tuba. The tech guy. Time to talk. I'm talking to Scott Wilkinson. He's getting me all excited about tubas. We're talking tech here. 8888 Ask Leo's the phone number. We mentioned that Tuba Christmas, which has been an LA event every Christmas for many years. They used to hold it down at the cemetery in the Freedom Hall down there at Forest Lawn. But I guess because of COVID, they can't do it this year. So Scott is doing something else. And so first thing I guess I should mention is and I want to make this clear because I hope I didn't miss, Tuba Christmas is still going on in many other areas of the country. I guess it's a national thing. So if you go to tubachristmas.com, you can find a Tuba Christmas near you, if that should be your desire. And you can search for different locations and so forth. So I don't want to give the impression that there is no Tuba Christmas. It's just Tuba Christmas LA. But what we have done, and this is nice, is we've redirected, thank you, Mike Mann, 2021 Tuba Christmas LA.com to the
proper YouTube page.
Does it go to the YouTube page? It does. To the YouTube page. And you'll see on there John Noreko, and he's playing the various tuba themes and stuff. And that's where the live event, the Conical Supremacy event, will be. So, and I guess Scott was saying they're going to it's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. They're all going to be playing in one of the players' driveways because they want to do it outside. So, again, 2021.tubachristmasla.com, and I'll put a link in the show notes. And if you're somewhere else, I mean, the nice thing is you can watch that anywhere in the world because it's streaming. But if there are live concerts, apparently, in some areas of the country, you can go to tubachristmas.com. So, yes, Virginia, as Dr. Mom says, yes, Virginia, there is a Tuba Christmas. There will be Christmas this year. Stanley on the line. Hello, Stanley from Northwest Ohio. How are you?
Hello, Leo Laporte. I'm doing great. And you?
I'm great. Say hello to Micah Sargent.
Hello.
Tech Guy Jr. We're here to help.
Hello, Micah. And again, Leo, I'm going to be switching phone companies, cell phone companies, after the first of the year. But my one question is, you see all these ads from the lesser-known companies that say we use the same towers and all of that. My primary concern is clarity and volume of the phone calls. Is there truly no difference?
There's no difference in that regard. So here's what those little companies are. So there's the big companies in the world, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, U.S. Cellular. They run their own towers. They have their own infrastructure. They're standalone companies. But as you mentioned, then there are a lot of other little ones, like Mint Mobile. They're called MVNOs, Mobile Virtual Network Operators. Some of them are owned by the company. Verizon owns Visible, for instance. Cricket, which is another one. I can't remember who Cricket is owned by. I think AT&T. So there are a number of them that are actually owned by the companies. But then there are a lot of others that basically buy the internet. I guess the best way to think of it is they buy the mobile service at wholesale, so they get a little bit of a break, and then they sell it to you. And generally, it's going to be less expensive than getting it from the big boys. So there must be something you're giving up, right? This is mostly the only thing you're giving up. I'll give you an example, Mint Mobile and T-Mobile, because I use both. So T-Mobile, if you're getting it from T-Mobile, as you travel internationally, you get internet data globally, you get a price for calls, and you get priority on the cell towers. With Mint Mobile, the international stuff doesn't happen. That's a deal that T-Mobile has with other companies, and Mint Mobile doesn't get access to that. And I don't ever find this happening, but in theory, if there are a lot of T-Mobile customers using a tower, you might be deprioritized. Your data might be slower. I think in every respect, the calls are the same. They certainly will be the same volume.
Okay, that makes sense. Any thoughts on Spectrum's venture into the cell phone tower?
Well, now this is interesting because Xfinity started this, but the cable companies are starting to get into it, right? So I'm not as familiar with Spectrum's offering as I am with Xfinity's, but I'll talk about Xfinity's. Xfinity is an MVNO for Verizon. So when you're on pure cellular, you're on Verizon. But I suspect Spectrum's doing something similar. What Xfinity realizes, but wait, we have a lot of customers who have cable modems. Of course, when you're at home on almost all services, you're using your Wi-Fi, not the cell tower. But what if, we modified the cable modems we give to our customers so that they would be available to cellular customers as they wandered around town? And so that's, in fact, what they do. It doesn't work very well, in my opinion. But as you wander around a town and you're using Spectrum's phone service, sometimes you'll be on other people's Wi-Fi, and then sometimes you'll be on the actual cell service. And because in an area where Spectrum is the incumbent cable company, they have lots of base stations, you might actually be on Wi-Fi most of the time.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, so I that's how Xfinity does it, and I'm guessing that Spectrum is doing the same thing. That's why a cable company would want to get in the phone business. They're realizing, well, wait a minute. In a way, we are a wireless company because we've got all this Wi-Fi all over town.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So I'll have to look up, I'll have to learn more about Spectrum. We're not in a Spectrum area. We're in a Comcast area, so I'm pretty familiar with how Xfinity works.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're obviously a Charter Spectrum person. So now that's another question. What happens if you are a Spectrum user and you go somewhere where Comcast is the incumbent? Then you just use the mobile service. You'll be using the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be the same. I'm not sure who they use as their who they rent the mobile system from. But
okay.
Yeah. They're MVNO. Let me just see. Yeah, let me just see who they're in. MVNO 4, if somebody says. Yeah, I don't see. Charter followed Comcast lead. Yeah. I think if you do it, you're doing it to save money, perhaps. I don't think it's... and I'd love to hear from people who have cable companies providing their cell service, whether it's Xfinity or Spectrum. How do you like it? How do you like it? I could see it's a benefit for those companies. Not sure it's a great idea for the customer. Yeah. So I'd be curious how you like it. Now, on the other hand, I love the MVNOs. I use Mint Mobile. They're great. Ting is another one. Visible is actually owned by Verizon. So Cricket is owned by AT&T. So sometimes you're really just getting a deal. And the reason the companies do this is there's different models. And they're trying different stuff. Visible, for instance, is aimed at a younger audience that doesn't use phone calls as much, but they use data a lot. So it's very data focused. It's more expensive for the phone calls, less expensive for the data, which flips the normal, cell phone thing on its head. It's kind of an interesting idea. All right, enough of that. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Leo and Micah taking your calls.
So good.
I don't know anybody yet who has T-Mobile internet. But even if they said, the answer would vary. T-Mobile now has this home internet, depending on how close you are to the tower, how many people are using the tower. So it's going to really vary quite a bit from person to person. They do have a free trial. I would try it. The theory is good. And if you don't have less expensive high-speed internet from your phone or cable company, this is a great alternative if you're near a T-Mobile tower. Verizon's now doing this as well, the home internet using their towers, which I think is a good idea. As always with this stuff, though, you got to read the fine print and know all the details. Do they slow you down after 20 gigabytes or things like that? We routinely at home use more than a terabyte a month.
Yeah, same.
And, Comcast was going to ding me when we go over, a terabyte. Several times I got you went over a terabyte, we're going to charge you. So I find they do have unlimited service, but it costs a lot more. So I finally just said, oh, screw it. I'm just going to.
That's what I
don't want to worry about it.
Yeah.
You have it too. Yeah.
And you have to. They don't even make it very clear. You have to call and do the right things, say the right things to get that unlimited option.
Magic words.
And then which you would think they would just let you because you're paying them more. But yeah, you have to. They're like, oh no, you probably don't need that.
No one knows.
I'm like, I've paid you overages 3 months in a row.
Exactly.
I need this.
Yeah.
So.
They give you like 3 months warning, and then I end up. They specifically say they have no throttling, no data caps, no taxes or fees, no price increase, $50. That's pretty good. So it really, again, is going to depend on how close you are to the tower and how busy a tower it is. If you're in a rural area and there's a tower 100 feet away, it'd probably be great. Because remember, the issue on this is that each tower is connected to the internet through a backhaul, and whatever bandwidth that tower gets is shared by everybody using the tower. If you're the only person on it, it's all yours. But if there's 100 people on it, you may not have. It's the same for a lot of. It's basically the same for cable. But my experience is that this may have changed. They may not put a huge amount of bandwidth into each tower because it's expensive, right? 100 megabits, that's pretty good. Typical between 30 and 115. But see how it says many customers? Many customers, but not all. Speeds can vary. Yep, exactly. Tech Guy Podcast brought to you this week by Worldwide Technology, a platinum IBM business partner. WWT is the company you want to work with. If you're a business and you use technology, they call it enterprise technology, right? They are at the forefront of innovation in enterprise technology, working with companies all over the world, transforming their business. And the reason WWT is such a great partner, well, there are many. One is they understand business. So they're not going to give you technology for technology's sake. They work with you to make sure, first of all, to learn your strategy, to make sure that any technology you employ supports that. That's so important. The other thing, one of the many other things, but another big one that comes to mind that makes WWT unique is their Advanced Technology Center. I've talked about it before. This is a research and testing lab that brings together $500 million worth of equipment from all the big OEMs. It's just amazing. This is what WWT's engineers, they started this years ago, I think a decade ago, with one building, a couple of racks. Now it's many racks spread over, I think, 4 buildings. We went and visited last year. I was blown away. It's beautiful, perfectly done. I talked to some of the engineers in there. They love it. I said, you got the greatest job in the world, don't you? He said, yeah, we get to use all the latest stuff. That's where their engineers spin up proofs of concept, learn about technology, do pilot programs for their customers, that kind of thing. But here's the thing that's amazing about WWT. They also let you have access to the labs. The ATC, the Advanced Technology Center, offers hundreds of on-demand and schedulable labs for you. Things like, well, they're labs and proofs of concept, like the IBM Storage POC. The newest advances in multi-cloud architecture and security networking, primary and secondary storage, data analytics, AI, DevOps, process too. And you get to use this too as a member of the ATC platform, which is free. With the ATC, you can test out products and solutions before you go to market. There's more than just the labs there. There's technical articles, there's expert insights, there's demonstration videos and white papers, all the tools you'll need to stay up to date with the latest technology, and they've virtualized it. So if you're on the platform, you can access these resources anywhere, anytime. I love this. And while you're visiting the ATC platform, you should also check out WWT's events and communities. These days, they're virtual as well, so you can find out more about technology trends, hear the latest research and insights from their experts, and have a laugh, too, because they bring in some great talented entertainers for this stuff as well. It's just, the community ATC is second to none. It's fabulous. Whatever your business need, WWT can deliver scalable, tried and tested, tailored solutions right for you. WWT is famous for bringing strategy and execution together to make the new world happen. To learn more about WWT, the ATC, to gain access to all these free resources I just described, it's very easy. You just go to wwt.com/twit. Create an account on the ATC platform and have at it. wwt.com/twit. We thank WWT for supporting the Tech Guy podcast. Thank you for using that address so that they know you saw it here. And now, back to the show. I like it. I figured Professor Laura would find unusual holiday music to play, and she did. She also warned me ahead of time. She said, don't worry, this is the clean version. Okay, thank you. Am I liable or are you liable? I think you're liable, Laura. Both of us? It's my show. I guess the FCC would come to my door.
I'm the only one that's
they go,
clear
who's
and
this
free.
Micah guy? Can we sue him too?
Oh, no.
The penalties for fleeting expletives on the radio are quite high.
I'm very careful.
Be very careful.
Very careful.
I should have probably told you that before we started working together. 8888 Ask Leo. Micah's a longtime podcast colleague, and there's no FCC doesn't regulate podcasts. You can say whatever you want.
For now.
As many podcasts do. No, I don't think they ever will.
Yeah, I tease.
I can't. But it's very different in broadcast. You have to be very careful. Just remember, that's a microphone. You don't know if it's on or off. Just pretend it's always on.
Look, I was in theater for so many years that every microphone is a microphone
that's right.
that's live.
You go backstage and go, boy, that audience is terrible. And that would go right through the crowd. And they wouldn't be
Our
happy
lead
about that.
using the restroom with the microphone
Don't
on.
wear the microphone to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was bad.
No. I have done that, but only as a joke.
Oh.
We were doing an event at CES, which is coming up a couple of weeks. The show formerly named as the Consumer Electronics Show, and we were doing a broadcast there. And I thought I'm going to leave it on. I mean, I didn't do anything. I just went in there and talked. It was funny.
Yeah,
trust me.
I believe you.
You had to be there. John on the line from.
Geography joke.
John on the line from Concord, North Carolina. Hello, John.
Hello, Leo and Michael. How are you?
We're great. How are you?
Welcome to the crew, Micah.
Thank you so much.
You know what you're getting into.
Oh, yeah.
I
Worked
think
with
he
this guy for a little while.
I think he kind of might. Yeah.
Yeah, I got two questions. One from my grandkids and one from me. Which one would you like?
Start with whichever one matters to you the most, which I'm guessing is your grandkids. But
grandkids. And it's a simple question. That lady on the iPhone, when you ask her to send a message, used to do the whoosh after your message has been sent. My grandkids miss that. She doesn't do it anymore.
It doesn't make the whoosh sound?
No.
Well, I don't know if it has to do with the lady or not. There's a couple of things going on. First of all, the lady in your phone has gotten dumber. In fact, Apple's getting a lot of heat for this. We've had several calls from blind users and others. It used to be you could tell her to read messages, send messages, and all sorts of stuff, and she's just stopped. So that's one issue. But you can there's also a setting. The whoosh is actually in the sound settings. It's the sent mail setting. So if you go into your settings and then go to sounds and haptics, you can have a variety of sent mail. Let's see if I can make mine. Well, that's a bell. I want the swoosh. It's called swoosh. There it is. I love that. That's my favorite sound. It's very satisfying.
They don't think the message has been sent until they hear that sound.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it's funny that you should say that because I feel the same way. They actually updated it. So this is the old swoosh. They call it swish. Can you hear that? Yeah. And then now, these days, it's this.
It is different.
It goes a little longer, a little farther. The mail's going a little farther. So that's in your settings. And if it's disabled, but you can have it do other sounds too. Don't tell how old are the grandkids?
3 and 4.
Oh, don't tell them how to get to this because they will mess with you. In fact, when we first got phones that allowed you to set ringtones and sounds like this, I would sit and it would drive my wife crazy. I'd go, do I want to use Aurora? Maybe I want to use that. What should I? And it would drive her crazy. By the way, I've sure just driven the audience crazy because they all think they got text messages. So that was me, not you. Anyway.
And also a simple thing just to check is that mute switch on the side of the phone is not turned on. If the mute switch is on,
that one.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check because I always have mine turned off. And yes, the lady on the phone will be quieter if you do have it turned on.
And one other thing that I never knew, it used to drive me crazy. If you invoke the lady on the phone by calling her out by name, hey, you know who, she'll talk to you out loud. But you know that on an iPhone, you can press the screen on-off button and hold it to talk to her. And at that point, she won't talk out loud back to you. She assumes, oh, you must be in a meeting or backstage with a microphone, and you don't want me to say anything. So I'm just going to put it up on the screen. For the longest time, that puzzled me, and now I understand. Yeah, it's because you're pressing and holding instead of talking.
They love it. It's big time when I call out.
That's so cute. 2 or 3 year olds. That's so cute. Do they think it's actually a person?
I don't know, but they love the lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Used to be Susan Bennett. I don't know who her voice is now, but yeah. So what's Grandpa's question?
Grandpa's question is a little bit more complicated. I got a 2019 MacBook Pro, 4 Thunderbolt ports. I have a OWC Thunderbolt DAS, direct attached storage.
Love those.
And I'm not getting the speeds that I want. I'm using the Blackmagic Disk Speed Tester through the Thunderbolt in a RAID 5 configuration, 40 terabyte server.
Grandpa's a big fat geek.
Listen to Grandpa over here.
Grandpa.
I do professional video editing, so I need.
Oh yeah, you want throughput. So this is part of the. I think this is part of the whole conundrum of what does that Type-C port do? It can do USB 2. It could do USB 3. It could do USB 3.1. It could do Thunderbolt 2. It could do Thunderbolt 3. Each of them is a different speed. There's even now Thunderbolt 4. So what year is your laptop?
I'm getting here. 2019.
2019.
MacBook Pro.
And then when you bought that thing from the Otherworld Computing, was it a Thunderbolt 3 device? Because
yes.
It was for sure.
It has Thunderbolt 3, yeah, because it had Thunderbolt in the title. It had 2 Thunderbolt ports. And here's the interesting.
Well, Thunderbolt by itself doesn't mean Thunderbolt 3. So check and make sure.
There's a Thunderbolt 4, but that was
or Thunderbolt 2. So there is an issue, and I've been bit by that. And you'll notice this because Thunderbolt 3 devices and up are much more expensive. Mm-hmm. So cables too. So
yeah, what cables? What brand of cable are you using?
That might be the other issue. Yeah.
I do cable jive.
Okay, those are good.
Okay.
So here's what I'm getting on my write speed to the DAS. I'm getting 70 megs, and I'm getting a read speed of 500.
70 megs?
However, yeah, 70 megs. It's ridiculous.
That's terrible.
However, a daisy-chained SSD drive, a GeForce SSD drive, daisy-chained through the DAS, has write speeds of 400 and read speeds of 500.
Well, here's the deal. In fact, I should have just let you finish your question because you solved all that. Yes, that's Thunderbolt 3. It's that spinning drive you've got. Can't do anything faster, I think. It's a RAID, you said?
Yeah, I got it in RAID 5 configuration.
And they're spinning disks, yes?
Yes.
And is it a Thunderbolt device?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
Because that's really pig slow.
It's pathetic, yeah, because it's my USB 3 drives connected. They get 150s, 160s.
Yeah.
Those spinning
so
drives,
you know, this is the difference between SSD, spinning drives, and frankly, it's a waste of money to buy a Thunderbolt 3 interface to a slow drive because it's never going to be any faster than the drive is. I think, obviously, it's that RAID array. Who makes that? It's Otherworld Computing?
Yeah.
And it's their direct access, huh?
Yeah.
That should be faster.
Okay.
It's a Thunderbolt 3 DAS. It should be faster. Did you put your own discs in it or use the ones that came with it?
I used the ones that came with it.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
Too, so.
And they are spinning discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faster discs make a difference, that's for sure. That's all I could think of. It's just the limit of that drive. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, the tech guys. So, let me think here. Did you get, which one is it? The Thunder Bay or?
Yeah, Thunder Bay.
I love those. They're so cute. They look just like a Mac Pro. So that's
and they get the they put Toshiba drives in it, which I hadn't had any experience with. I know they're not the Reds or in the Seagates, but they seem to be working for now. But it's just getting slower and slower over time, and I don't even have it halfway full.
Yeah, and I mean you can replace them with SSDs; it'll fit in there. In fact, it uses NVMEs as well if you've got the latest one. I have to think it's the drives. It's unfortunate because when it's in RAID, you can't really test individual drives. But you might be that you have one drive that's messed up. And that's bringing the whole RAID array down. So a good idea, you probably should own these anyway, is to get one of these USB drive interface devices that let you take a drive and hook it up individually to your computer. In other words, take the drive out and test it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to guess that one of these drives, this is, by the way, one of the things that Drobo does in their software is they'll tell you the health of each individual drive in the RAID. You don't have anything like that for the Thunder Bay?
They do have a program that runs. I didn't pay for the latest upgraded program, but...
Well, that's one possibility because there's... How many drives is it?
4.
Yeah, so if one of the drives is bad, the whole thing would slow down because it's probably using all 4 drives for every write. So if you could test the drives individually and find the bad drive, I bet you that's the simple fix, and then you just replace that.
Now, would I be able to mix drives? Can I get an SSD for one port and still use the spinning drives and as time goes on?
Which Thunder Bay do you have? Do you have the Flex?
No. Thunder Bay...
That's why they call it the Flex, because you can mix and match on the Flex.
Okay. So I can't
the older one, I don't think you can.
Okay.
So, they made a new one. Of course, this is what OWC is great, but this is what they do. Yeah, and for a little more money, you can have a mix of heterogeneous drives in there. Mm-hmm. That's not typical in RAID. In RAID, usually you want all the drives to match. Golly, yeah, I think that's probably certainly the enclosure is capable of full speed. Everything's capable of full speed. We check the cable, check the enclosure, check the computer. It's got to be a bad drive.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, nice to talk to you.
Great. First, the grandkids are going to be thrilled with the answer.
Oh, Grandpa, you're great. What kind of video editing do you do?
Professional, corporate.
Nice. That's great. And you do it, you use Final Cut
Adobe.
or Premiere?
Adobe.
Yeah.
After 30 years in television news, I got smart and went to corporate.
Yeah. Good for you. Oh, yeah, that's great. So my son studied at CU Boulder, studied this, and he was always mad at the guy because he came from TV news. He said, no, I don't want to do A/B cutting. I want to do something. So now he's doing really fancy editing on Premiere for his TikToks and his YouTubes and stuff. And he's doing quite well. So it's fun. It's a really, it's a good thing to know. It's great.
Yes,
yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
Pleasure meeting you, John.
Thank you so much, Leo. Micah, great. Have a great day.
Thanks
Take
so
care.
much.
Hello, Mr. Johnny Jet.
Hello. One John to the other.
One John to the other. And how are you today?
Better. Thank you.
You had that cold?
Well, you know what? I told you, like, in October, I got a virus, which was not COVID, but it messed up my lungs.
Yeah.
And we went up to the mountains this week on a road trip. I spent one night. I couldn't breathe.
Oh, wow. Geez. So you're still you think there's something... I think you have long-haul COVID.
That's what one of my friends thinks, but I got tested. I was negative.
No, yeah. Well, test yourself again. Get a PCR. No, you can't. No, that wouldn't do it. You need to get the antibody test, yeah. Oh, who cares? Just, every year this time my lungs get bad because it's so dry. Here we go. He's been everywhere, man. He's our traveling guru, the guy who helps you travel better with tech, Johnny Jet from johnnyjet.com. World famous traveler. Actually, it's been a little, you kind of had to cut back on all the appearances and the events and stuff since COVID, right, Johnny?
My schedule in March 2020 just fell off a cliff. Every public speaking gig I ever had or travel, it was just wiped. I got crushed, but fortunately, it's been coming back since maybe June or May last year, and everyone was worried about Omicron, but it seems like it's not slowing down. The passenger numbers yesterday, TSA checkpoint, over 2 million. And, the holiday crush is coming up probably next week. People will really start traveling. So those numbers are going to go. And the all-time high, again, was 2.8 million going through U.S. checkpoints, which was a Sunday after Thanksgiving. So,
traditionally the worst day of the year for travel, and it was again this year, It's back to normal. Well, I think people
not quite. 85%, I think.
85. I think people have just said, enough. I'm going to take the chance. I would hope most of them are vaccinated. So they go, how risky is it? My friend was asking me, well, now that we're vaccinated and boosted in many cases, is it worth just, living? He went to Vegas with his wife. Yeah, to see, they saw Brooks and Dunn. They saw Carrie Underwood. They had a great time and didn't get sick.
Yep.
So,
well, one of my good friends has long haul COVID, has all kinds of problems, had COVID twice, and he asked his doctor. He sent me his email that he sent to his doctor, asking if he should go to a family matter back east, and he's out here. And the doctor said, "Listen, you need to live your life and just wear a mask, an N95 mask.
We got to still do those things: and social distance, wash your hands, wear a mask, face shield. Interesting, and stay out of poorly ventilated spaces. That's the real risk, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. But we can, and by the way, plane is not a poorly ventilated space. In fact, it's one of the safest places you can be. I just saw some stats. Very few people have caught COVID on a plane. Very few.
I mean, think about people are traveling every single day around, and these flight attendants and pilots, they're not getting it in huge numbers like everyone was afraid. So
how about cruises? Are they coming back?
They are, but they're definitely coming back. It's a little bit slower, but they're coming.
And hotel bookings and stuff like that, they're traveling again.
They are. Hotel rates are up. So
I noticed.
I think 25% are up.
I guess that's the sign.
Airfares are down 3%.
Yeah.
So they're back. So anyway, I have a couple tips this week.
Give us some travel tips. Yes, sir.
My notes just went blank for some reason, but I sent out a travel tip this morning. If you get my free newsletter, hopefully you do. The tip was, if you have any vouchers or credits that airlines gave you because your travel plans were canceled because of COVID, go right now and check the expiration date. Chances are it's going to expire at the end of this month.
Oh, no.
So don't lose that money, because a lot of airlines will not alert you. One of my readers sent me an email that Alaska Airlines actually alerted her that they were expiring, and they said, listen, this is what you can do. For Alaska, you can book now for a flight 11 months from now. So you don't have to travel before the end of the year, but you just need to book it. But every airline is different. So what you need to do is find out when the expiration date is, and then call that airline and find out the rules, because they're different. I have tickets that I booked for my family and I to go to Toronto right before the pandemic, and we had to cancel. I called up American to use them for June, and they said, sorry, you have to use them by March. You have to fly by March, not just book them.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I was like, that's ridiculous. My kids I'm not going to put my kids on a plane to Toronto right now. So anyway, if that happens to you, you can call up and ask for an extension, which I have. I just sent them an email. I have not heard back from American, but you can usually get them to do it. And if they don't, there's one way you can really play some hardball, which is, it doesn't always work, but if there's a big storm brewing, you can book a ticket for that area, and chances are that flight will get canceled. And if they cancel it, you can get your money back in full.
Oh, wow. That's a tricky little
that is really
end around. Only do that if it's going to expire in days and you got no other choice. And by the way, this is a good time of year to do that. There are lots of storms, tornadoes. We're going to have a atmospheric river dump 2 inches of rain on us tomorrow. So this is a good time to do that.
Definitely. I mean,
and you didn't hear me say it or Johnny Jet. You just thought of that on your own.
No, that's right.
You thought that all up on your own.
Airlines hate when I say this stuff.
Oh, man.
But, also, the hidden city ticketing, they hate when I talk about that.
Ixnay on the hidden city. Hey, that's, yeah. They don't like it. But
but listen, the thing is, I'm on the side of consumers. I'm always going to fight for the consumers, because I'm so sick and tired of these airlines.
This is the motto of the show. Use technology to your benefit. These companies are using technology to their benefit. They computerized prices. Everybody on the plane paid a different price for the ticket. They're using it to their benefit. Okay, and you find a loophole? Hey, use it to your benefit.
Exactly. And actually, let's talk about hidden city ticketing because of
now this
I'm sure
is risky because if they catch you doing it, they can punish you. Yeah?
They can take away your miles. It's not against the rules. It's against the rules, not against the law. Okay. So a hidden city ticket is, let's say I want to fly between LA and Charlotte, and there's only one nonstop. It's an American, and they're going to charge you $560. But if I book a one-way ticket and the key is a one-way ticket. If I go LA to, let's say, LaGuardia via Charlotte, that ticket could be $120. So what you do is you don't check a bag and you get off the plane in Charlotte.
And the reason you want to do one way is because they will cancel your return leg if you do a round trip.
Exactly.
Because they'll say, well, I don't know what happened to him, but he fell off the face of the earth. We're going to cancel his return.
And if you do it often, they will take away your miles. I've heard stories where they'll even meet you at the gate and walk you to the next gate, or they'll try and charge you the full price. But they're only doing it for people who do it a lot.
Yeah.
And just don't put your freaking flyer number in as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, and again, you didn't hear that from me or Leo, but
no, and I've never done it. I'll be honest. I know about it. You told me about it a long time ago. I think I've known about it for a long time, and I just never have done it because I'm a rule follower. I'm the kind of person I'd feel squirrely the whole time doing that. Like, I gotta get off the plane now, and they keep track when if the second leg goes, the Charlotte to New York LaGuardia goes, and you're not on it. How do they know you're not on it?
Well, they do a check and then they'll page you in the airport. So, if I ever have done it, and that I would not admit to it, but I would go and tell the gate agent, say, listen, I'm not going to make this next flight.
Don't page me.
Yeah,
I got to go to the bathroom.
I'm not feeling great or whatever the reason was. And actually, I've not felt great on flights. I was supposed to fly LA to Miami to Puerto Rico, and the one-way flight business class from LA to Miami was $1,500. One-way business class from LA, Miami, Puerto Rico was $300. So I went to Miami and I actually was not feeling well, and I got off the plane and I told the gate agent, said, listen, I'm not going.
So don't page me.
No problem.
Yeah.
But I saved $1,200.
Yeah, and at that point, they think you got to, the lie has expanded, however. This is the problem, Johnny. Once you start lying, you never stop, do you? You got to have another lie after that lie to compensate for the lie.
Listen, I'm known for not lying. I do not lie. To a fault.
To a certain extent, the hidden city ticket is a bit of a lie.
Listen, there's a website called skiplagged.com.
Yeah.
United and Orbit sued them because this is what they specialize in. They show you which ones are the hidden cities. And they lost. Skiplag won. So it's
not against the law.
It's not against the law.
It's just against the rules.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. You beat them at their own game.
It's kind of this is the motto of the show now. It's not against the law. It's just against the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. JohnnyJet.com. This is the kind of valuable stuff you'll find there. JohnnyJet.com/newsletter. If you want to subscribe to his newsletters, there's some great ones. They're all free. JohnnyJet.com/podcast for his podcast. Of course, he's got a YouTube channel, an Instagram channel, and a Twitter channel, all at Johnny Jet. Are you going anywhere this week?
I'm not sure, actually. There's a chance.
He's amazing. Well, safe travels if you are. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's not against the law, it's just against the rules. Love that.
I'm like you, Leo.
That's my new motto. I'm a real. I can't do it because
I know.
It's not worth
feel it in here.
to feel bad. Yeah. I just feel bad.
I don't get what you feel bad about.
I know you shouldn't feel bad. I even feel bad if like a restaurant or I don't know, like going and getting a cup of coffee and then they're like, hey, we have extra lemon loaf. Would you like to have two instead of one?
I would take the lemon loaf.
Are you kidding me?
You won't even do
I
that.
don't eat sugar anyway, but still, my point is like I can't get over any kind of squirreliness or any kind. So
I wouldn't call that squirrely.
If it's the middle of the night and it's a four-way stop, and there's no cars anywhere around, would you just roll through?
Oh, heavens no.
No, heck no. Never.
See?
That's ridiculous.
Neither would Johnny. Okay.
No.
I know
Definitely
people.
not.
I won't say who.
Maybe if it's in your wheelhouse, like your whole thing is like so you feel more comfortable doing. Well, not saying that you've ever done the hidden city ticketing, but in a world where you did, maybe it's because it's your wheelhouse that you do feel more comfortable doing that. 'Cause I'm trying to think of what sort of is in my wheelhouse that I could do that I feel is quote unquote squirrely. That, but I
got it. When you're doing a coloring book, and sometimes you just want to go out, maybe not use the same color or go outside the lines. You will do that, and you don't feel bad about that.
About going outside the lines?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel bad about that.
I'm just saying, I found it. When you're making a crochet pattern, and it says you got to use blue here, and you use blue-green, does that make you feel bad?
This is not the same thing at all.
If the airline is offering that deal and you find it, you should be able to take advantage of it. It shouldn't matter.
They're not offering that deal.
Yeah,
though.
They are. I'm booking a ticket between L.A. and LaGuardia. It just stops in Charlotte. But I found the fare. It wasn't
It's
like
true.
that
And
fare
it's not like
fare should
it
have been
costs them anything, except
It
maybe
shouldn't cost them more.
a paging at the gate agent. But you can forestall that. I mean, didn't
Maybe that's
cost
what it
them
is.
anything.
I'm thinking about the humans involved. That gate agent that now I've taken
I
up
feel
their
bad
time.
about them.
Are you kidding me?
So that's
Think
why
about
you
the
say
people
to
you're
them.
helping. You know how many people are standing by, especially
Oh.
airport workers or airplane workers that are like,
Oh,
oh,
see,
my
that's
God,
why you tell the
someone
gate
didn't
agent.
show up. They
That's
didn't
why
show
you
up.
tell the gate agent.
No,
You say,
20 minutes before the
"Oh,
flight. They're doing a check, and then if people don't show up, they cancel their ticket.
Can you say
and
to
then
the
they
gate agent,
add stand-by?
You know what? I've always wanted to visit Charlotte. I'm just going to get off here. You can have my seat. Bye.
Maybe that's what it is. It's the idea of going, I'm not feeling
I don't want to do that.
well.
I'm not feeling well. But if I said, you know what? I've always wanted to see Charlotte. That's a little white lie.
The gate agents don't care. They don't care. They just want to make sure the
But
plane
just
goes
let
out
them know.
on time.
So just say, dude, I'm using the magic open city ticket, and open jaw, baby. I'm getting off. You can have my seat. You know what? I bet they'd appreciate it if you said that.
Definitely.
And they go, oh, shame on you. You're breaking the rules, but you're not breaking the law.
And you'll hear applause from the crowd next door. I mean, all the people hanging around the gate
because
hoping
somebody
to get on
got
the
a
flight.
seat.
Because there are so many standbys.
Some poor captain who's got to get to Charlotte so he can pilot the next flight. He can't get on because the plane's full. You just gave him a ride.
Excuse me. I can't wait to see all the emails I get.
I hope your lungs feel better. I'm sorry about your lungs.
Yeah.
Did you ever work
once
in a coal
I came
mine?
down to the mountain, no. But once I came down to the mountains, it was fine.
Yeah, you need the oxygen. I don't like altitudes, actually.
I never really did.
Yeah.
And speaking of altitudes, are you going to be around for the holiday schedule?
Oh,
are you working
no.
Christmas, New Year's?
So, that's a good question. What am I doing, Laura? Do you know?
Yeah, you're not doing Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but
I guess I wouldn't be working Christmas Day or New Year's Day.
So you're doing Christmas Eve. So you're doing Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Well, Eve is Friday, so I'm not doing those.
Sorry, you're
do
right.
do I do Boxing Day and New Year's?
Okay, so I'm done. I'm done for.
You're done
next week. And
no,
then,
you do next week.
Yeah,
but you don't have to. Next time, then it'll be January 8th.
January 8th.
All right.
Wow, good question. See you
Take
next. Audible. Mike and I are audibles. So I'm watching the Wheel of Time TV show, and I'm thinking, this isn't as good as the audiobooks. 14 or 15 volumes of this saga, and I'm listening on Audible, and I'm loving it. You're in this world, and it's better than a TV show because you're hearing it, but you're imagining it, and it's incredible and rich. I just love audiobooks from Audible. In fact, I started with Audible 21 years ago with a famous saga, the Aubrey Maturin saga. I think there were 13 or 14 of those. They're seafaring during the Napoleonic Wars. It's about a British naval captain and his best friend and the naval doctor and the adventures.
Oh, wow.
It's so good. And the reader on this is incredible. And I listened to all of them, and it saved me because I was commuting at the time to San Francisco for Tech TV, and it saved my life because otherwise, I don't know, road rage would have taken me. So I've been an Audible member forever and ever and ever, and incredible. Just life-saving. So it's easy for me to tell you, dear listener, that you need Audible. This holiday season is a great time for family to get together, exchange thoughtful gifts with the people you care about. Maybe though, a gift for yourself. The gift of an Audible membership for you now is the best time to do it because this is amazing. They've got a special offer, 60% off for your first 3 months. And of course, you're gonna go crazy, and you'll be there like I am for 20 years because it's just amazing. It's not just audiobooks, tons of binge-worthy podcasts now, exclusive originals that only Audible has, all available to download. You can stream them from the website, listen on I use the Audible app on all my phones. And as an Audible member, you get to choose a title a month, like the latest bestseller, the hottest new release, or the Wheel of Time series. I think it's a good one. Yours to keep forever. I think I own on Audible 8 of the audiobooks. So every month I get another one.
Nice.
They're staying ahead of me, though, because they're long. The best part, you also get, and if you ever run out at the end of the month, don't worry, you get the full Audible streaming library. They call it the Plus catalog, which has lots of audiobooks, podcasts, original content from celebrity creators, best-selling authors, leading experts. They have the Words Plus Music thing. They have the great courses. There's so much stuff on Audible. And with the Audible Plus catalog, if it's in the catalog, stream all you want, as much as you want. So you'll never run out of wonderful audio content. To use your Audible membership, you start by getting the Audible app. It's free. You can install it on all smartphones and tablets, no matter where you're going or what you're doing this holiday season. And, maybe as Grandpa is going on and on about Christmas 1924, you could put the AirPods in and be listening to something a little more interesting. You'll always have just the right thing to listen to. Perfect for commuting, at the gym, long road trips, or just cozying up by the fire. Are you listening to anything new since we talked last?
Oh, yeah. There's the Schooled in Magic series. It's a little bit of a guilty pleasure. It's a little bit YA, but it's a fun series because
sometimes these young adult stories are great.
Absolutely, and it's a rich world building.
It's a magic school. They're all in school.
Exactly. Yeah. And so she comes from a different world and comes to this world and has to learn about magic. And I love whenever they build that up and you kind of learn a new system.
I just love Audible. Save 60% on your first 3 months of Audible, $5.95 a month. Give yourself the gift of listening. Go to audible.com/techguy. Please do that, by the way, so that they give us credit. Audible, because we want to keep these guys as a sponsor forever. Because I know I've been a member forever. Audible.com/techguy or text techguy to 500-500. That's easy. Then you get the link on your phone. It's easy to install. AUDIBLE, audible.com/techguy. Text techguy, TECHGUY to 500-500. Thank you, Audible. They've been with us. I've been with them since 2000. And I hope we're together for another lifetime.
Exactly.
Audible.com/techguy. Now back to the Tech Guy Show. This is very 80s, isn't it? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I feel like Molly Ringwald is going to come running in the door any moment now and say, it's my birthday party. I have a rich fantasy life. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Arizona Lou, our favorite comedian, is on the line. Hello, Arizona Lou.
Hey, I want to give you a warning, you and Ray, because people are breaking both the law and the rules. When Ray last weekend said that he got a notice from his bank that his password had been compromised or someone.
Yeah. And I said, Ray, did you reuse that password? He said, yes, I did. I said, well, Ray, you need to stop doing that. I remember that. So was that a law we broke? What law did we break?
Both you and Ray overlooked the fact that very well could not have been a message from his bank.
Oh, yeah.
But a criminal that made it look like his bank.
I did. You know what? Arizona Lou, you are right on. And I think I mentioned that to him and then said, call the bank and make sure it's the real, deal. Not some. You're exactly right. He could have been a phishing scam because that's what they look like.
Go to your bank site. Go to your bank
by
site.
hand.
Do not click on that email. Do not call a phone number in it, because the criminal will send you to a bank site that looks
exactly right.
Exactly like yours.
Exactly right. You're right, Arizona Lou. And what you do, you don't call that number on there either. You go out, you get your white pages, and you go through there, and you turn the page until you get to the bank, and you see that phone number right there. That's the number you call, not the number on the email. You call the one in the phone book.
And then I do have a question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. No, it's an excellent point. I think I brought that up, but if I didn't, shame on me.
I listened to it again, and I didn't hear it.
Oh, shame on me.
Make sure that the listeners, just so the listeners know, I'm changing my my web host from GoDaddy to HostGator because HostGator offers free SSL.
Nice. GoDaddy charges you for SSL?
They're not yet, but to get it, they would charge me, and I don't.
That's terrible. No, SSL should come with every website automatically.
My stuff goes to charity, so.
Well, and they don't, by the way, GoDaddy, nobody pays for those certificates. I'm sure they use the free certificate engine, Let's Encrypt. Costs them nothing. But this is what I don't like about GoDaddy. It's just another way to make a little more money off of you.
Well, I've been a happy GoDaddy customer until the SSL thing came along.
Yeah.
But there's a twist.
Yes.
My website with GoDaddy is ArizonaLouKiteBorder.com, and ArizonaLou.com
redirects.
Yep. Well, with HostGator, it's going to be ArizonaLou.com, and ArizonaLouKiteBorder.com will redirect to it.
Here's a chance for you to fix all of this, or unless you want both sites. Do you want both sites to be? They're all the same site, but you want both URLs to work?
Yeah, at least for a while.
Yeah.
But my question is, what about SEO? Because if you search for...
No, it won't affect that.
Favorite old man, I'll be number one. I just don't.
Wait a minute. You're America's number one favorite old man?
If you Google America's favorite old man, I'll be number one. Hey, I can't help it.
Arizona Lou comedy.
It's number one. That's impressive. You own that, man. And you didn't even pay for it. You just, by virtue of being Lou. How old do you have to be, by the way, to be America's favorite old man? I mean, when will I be eligible is what I'm asking.
Well, I don't know. You got a ways to go because I just had a birthday about a week or two ago, and now I'm 80.
Happy birthday. That's a big 80.
Yeah.
Congratulations. My birthday's November 29th. When's yours, Lou?
28.
Oh, you're right before me.
Just the day before you.
Yeah.
How about that?
So
about 36 shows scheduled.
It won't affect SEO at all because you're going to be doing the same thing you did before, right? So the way search engine optimization works is not by IP address. Yes, your IP address will change.
Oh, good.
But it goes by the actual words America's favorite old man and ArizonaLou.com and ArizonaLouKiteBorder.com. And those are not going to change.
You say that stuff.
This is how you get to be America's favorite old man, by the way. You call the radio. So the way search engines work is they don't pay attention to the IP address. I mean, they do, but not in this case.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So your IP address is going to change because the host will have a different set of IP addresses. That's the underlying phone number for your site. But the name in the phone book is the same, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah. Okay, so the redirect won't change anything. All right.
So when did you become America's favorite old man? Did you start like Arizona's favorite old man and then work your way up?
No. Actually, if you say Arizona's favorite old man, I'll be number one, too.
Well, I'm sure you would. I
started a few months after I started my website and started comedy. I decided that, I knew lots of people, and I know a little bit, learned from you about search engine optimization. I don't pay anybody anything. I just keep my website up to date. Don't use keywords.
And do you tell people when you do your shows, don't forget to search for America's favorite old man, that kind of thing?
No, but I have it on my posters and things like that.
Yeah. So that eventually, because the way the search engines work is they look at what people click after they search for America's favorite old man.
Yeah.
And if they're clicking ArizonaLouKiteBorder.com, well, they go, that must be America's favorite old man.
Well, this makes me feel famous.
You are to me.
You are.
You're the world's famous Arizona Lou.
Well, yeah, you were on last time I was on, Micah, but I didn't say hi to you. So hi, Micah.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Arizona Lou.
He's America's favorite young man.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
That's a great title to have, isn't it? Speaking of great titles, Leo is on the line from Orange County, California. Hello, Leo.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Okay. About a year ago, you recommended Wyze outdoor cameras.
Yes.
I got them. I was happy with them, but one camera is a little further away, and 90% of the time it wouldn't record anything.
Yeah, it's a Wi-Fi problem. And it'll record locally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it won't get back to your base station. So you need.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things you can do. How far away is it?
Well, I got it solved.
Oh, good. All right. I love this kind of call. That's great. Well, thanks for calling.
I called their support, and I was really unhappy with them because they always told me go to the community. Well, I don't want to go to the community. I wanted to know if they had a.
Wait a minute though. How much did you pay for that camera, Leo?
I bought 3 of them with the base station. I think it was $150 altogether.
Yeah.
But the price is fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of the things you give up with low prices. Support's not going to be quite as good.
Yeah, but all I wanted was an extender or an amplifier.
What did they suggest? What did they tell you?
They never gave me an answer.
Yeah.
So what I did,
because that's not in their product line, right? That's something that's fixing your internet, not their issue. Yeah.
Right. Well, I fixed it. I got 2 things, and now I'm getting 99% of the recordings.
Very good. What'd you do?
I got myself a reflector, and I put it behind the base station, pointing in the direction of the camera.
Clever.
And then the reflector is cheap, piece of cardboard and tissue and
some tinfoil. Yeah.
Tinfoil. Yeah. And then I also had to make sure that the elevator is not on our floor.
The elevator's blocking it. That's why.
Yeah, that screen, that.
It's a big screen. Oh my gosh. Hey, I got to run, but I'm glad you fixed it. Still recommend Wyze. I think they do a good job. Yes, delete this old file. December 11th, my sister's birthday. I got to call her after the show. But first, I've got to solve day 8, part 2. It's funny because day 8, part 1 was like you should see the instructions. It's crazy.
I'll go there.
I don't know if you can.
That's true. Unless I join the.
You know what? They did it this year. They're unlocking them for everybody, even if you haven't solved it. But this is the day 8 instructions. I'll just show you real quick because it's freaking crazy. You barely reach the safety of the cave when the whale smashes into the cave mouth, collapsing it. Sensors indicate another exit to this cave at a much greater depth. You have no choice but to press on. You notice the 4-digit 7-segment displays in your submarines are malfunctioning. They must have been damaged during the escape. You'll be in a lot of trouble without them. You better figure out what's wrong. Then they explain how 7-segment displays work.
Oh, like a clock, like an old digital
There's
clock.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments. But unfortunately, the wires connecting each segment have somehow been scrambled. And not only that, there are 200 displays, and each one is wired differently. So
those elves, those submarine elves.
Well, I think when they ran into the cliff or whatever, the whale hit them. Anyway. So the problem is the signals to control the segments have been mixed up on each display, each one uniquely mixed up, by the way. Submarines still trying to display numbers by producing output on signal wires A through G, but those wires are connected to segments randomly. Worse, the wire segment connections are mixed up separately for each of the 200 4-segment displays. So what you have to do first is easy, as it turns out. All you have to do is some basic string. Look how long this goes. But then at the bottom, it's really very simple. Because the digits 1, 4, 7, and 8 each use a unique number of segments, you should be able to tell which combinations correspond to those. If you see 2 signals, well, that's obviously a 1 because it's the only number with 2 segments. So anyway, so it's very easy. It's like it's a one-liner, as it turns out. But then once you do that, then it gets hard. So I was thinking, oh, this is easy. Then I went to part 2. I knew because part 1 was like...
Oh, that's what you said. Okay.
And part of the challenge of this is, can you read so it's fun because one of the things programmers have to do is read specs, right? So part of this is, can you read a spec and turn that into a program?
Right.
And you read all this spec, and it turns out it's only really a couple of lines that matter for the first part.
Oh.
The second half is short, but a killer. Through a little deduction, you should now be able to determine the remaining digits. So they're going to know what all 200 of those displays say.
Oh.
You add them up, and they give them the final number. So you've actually got to do some code breaking now. Oh, boy. That'll be fun. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. It's actually, this is why I need the remarkable, because I'm sure there's a simple logic. There's 4 digits that you can guess just because, like a 1 is the only number from 0 to 9 that only has one segment lit. So anytime you see just one segment lit, you know, oh, that got to be a 1. And there's 4 numbers like that, so it should be able to get the other 6. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte's here, the Tech Guy. Tech Guy 2 is also here, Micah Sargent. You're lucky today. You get double Tech Guys.
Double the Tech
Double the Tech Guys. All you got to do is call 8888-ASK-LEO, 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. And you can also visit our chat room where the Team Tech Guy, hundreds of other tech guys and gals, lurk at irc.twit.tv. There's also a website, techguylabs.com, that has all the show notes there, links and so forth from the shows, plus audio and video from the show after the fact. So remember that too, techguylabs.com. And that's free. There's no charge to use it. 8888-ASK-LEO. Next call, my good friend from Montenegro, Videc, is on the line. Hi, Videc.
Hi, Leo, and hi, Micah.
Hello.
Did you, when you were out here, Videc visited our studio some years ago, I don't know if you were even working for us yet. Did you meet Micah?
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah.
I know him from the appearances in the shows.
Oh, well, he's world famous, host of iOS Today and Tech News Weekly, so of course you know him. And Micah even did a podcast about an American comedy show called The Office.
It's true.
Called Somehow I Manage. Somehow he managed to get off of that before the end of the run. But anyway, what can I do for you, Mr. Videc?
Well, I have a tech problem which I, for some reason, cannot solve. And that doesn't happen all too often. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just...
No, I know. You're a tech guy in your own right. Montenegro's tech guy, we'll call you.
Apparently, but this tech guy is not happy because I can't figure out what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. Listen to this. Every time I save a new contact in my iPhone, which is an iPhone, it's old. I think it's an iPhone 8.
Yeah.
It saves it normally, as it always does, but the contact does not appear in my contact list afterwards. Here's the fun part. It doesn't show up in my iCloud contacts, but I use an app called Viber, which is the same thing as WhatsApp.
I know Viber, yeah.
Yeah. The contacts show up in there, and Viber is supposed to sync your contact list from your phone, so they find Viber users.
So you enter it into the iPhone, Viber picks it up, syncs it, but nobody else does, and then, weirdly, it gets deleted from your iPhone's contacts as well.
Yeah.
But all the contacts are still in Viber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's also, second, which is what's baffling me, when the person calls, like a normal call, a cellular call, the name that I saved for that contact number shows up.
No. And you're talking about a call that comes to the telephone, not through Viber.
Yeah. Yeah, just a regular cellular call to your phone.
That is kind of a mystery. So there is a general problem with syncing anyway. And my initial thought was, oh, yeah, he's syncing his iPhone contact list with something that's messed up that is just deleting it instead of syncing it. You know, if you synced it with Google Contacts, for instance, it should say, oh, this is a new contact. I don't know it. Let me add it to my list. But it's completely possible for synchronization programs to get screwed up and say, no, I'm the boss of this list. It's not in my list, so I'm going to delete it. It's syncing deletions. And of course, you want it to do that. If you deleted it, for instance, from your iPhone list, you would want it to be deleted elsewhere, right? You wouldn't want it to stick around.
Exactly.
So it really comes down to who's the boss of this list. What's the official list? And you want it to be, as it should be, your iPhone contacts. But somebody else has other ideas. So first thing to look at is all the things you're syncing to. Is it just Viber?
I mean, I also have WhatsApp, but...
Is it syncing to WhatsApp as well?
Actually, I haven't checked. I barely opened the app.
Yeah.
Ever.
And then, well, WhatsApp doesn't... Yeah, I mean, it will go through your contacts, we'll add them, but I don't think we'll automatically add them unless that person is also on WhatsApp. So I don't think WhatsApp's the problem. And when you go to iCloud, when you log into the web, do you see the contacts there, or they're not there either?
No.
They're not
Not there either.
It is a little weird that the phone sees it. So
some do show up. Excuse me. Some do show up, but it's very rare. With old contacts, I'm completely fine. It's just a new one.
Yeah.
In the Contacts app, there's a button in the top left called Groups. Have you tapped on that before to see what you have selected in Groups? Because what happens is on the iPhone, there are multiple accounts you can set up. iCloud, I've got one for Twit, I've got one for a Gmail account that I have. And you're able to disable in the Contacts app viewing some of those addresses. So I am wondering if perhaps you've got something deselected there that's keeping you from being able to see all of your contacts.
If I go into Groups, what's selected is all iCloud and all Yahoo.
Okay.
Why all Yahoo?
The other place that you can go is...
Yahoo makes that just for you to be nice.
Yeah. The Settings app, I'm sure you've tapped on Contacts before, but what I'd like to know is what you have set as your default account, because this was actually an issue that I had in the past where I was creating new contacts and they weren't showing up in my different iOS devices, and that was because my default account was not set to iCloud. Instead, it was set to my Gmail. So it wasn't syncing across my different devices. So the Settings app, you choose Contacts, you make sure that default account is set to iCloud, and then from there, you will definitely have that syncing taking place across devices. The part that's still a little confusing is about Viber seeming to grab some of these, but I'd like to know that first, if you've got default account set correctly.
Yeah, probably what I would do is turn off all synchronization at first and then slowly work your way back. Sometimes the best fix for this is to delete the contact. You need
I've done that before.
One canonical, this is the geeky term for official contact list. So turn everything else off, delete all contacts from everything else, clean up your contact list somewhere, probably on the iPhone or on iCloud. Save it, back it up, save it somewhere where it can't be touched, because this could happen again. You want to have a canonical list that's kind of backed up, and then turn synchronization on one by one. And in theory, Viber and whoever else will look at this and go, oh, this is a new list, you're the boss, and because you want to be the boss. You don't want deletions coming from others' side. This is kind of the general advice I give people with synchronization issues. Find out it's really hard, as you can imagine, to synchronize things, because who wins? That contact doesn't exist on this list. Is that because it was deleted? Should I delete it everywhere? Or is it new and I should add it everywhere? And, some program is making the wrong decision. It's deciding to delete it instead of synchronize it.
Okay, I guess I'll try that then. Just do everything from scratch.
The one thing you said that doesn't match this theory is why the names are showing up when somebody calls. If it's not in your...
that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. If it's not in your iPhone contacts, it should never show up because it doesn't know. But maybe Micah has something with this groups thing. Maybe it's a hidden group, or it's somewhere on the phone. The phone does know that when Leo calls, when you see Leo's number, put Leo's name on there, even if I'm not in your contact list. Now, it may be that it's getting that information from the carrier or some other place. It might just be plain old caller ID. So maybe that's a meaningless...
What was that default account set to in contacts settings?
iCloud.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
what you want.
Yeah. So it should.
You want iCloud to be the boss.
Perplexing.
Delete it everywhere. Back. You've got. So do you have somewhere that you have all the contacts? Probably not at this point.
No,
not even Viber.
That's what I'm worried about.
Not even Viber.
Viber, yes. Viber, yes.
Okay, good. So if Viber will let you export that contact list, that becomes your official list because everything's there. Now what you want to do is delete it everywhere, import it into iCloud, making iCloud the official list, then one by one turning on the syncs. And they should all say, oh, iCloud's the boss. I have nothing, so it must all be new. Copy it all, and then one hopes it would all fix it.
Do you know if Viber will actually let?
I don't off the top of my head.
Yeah, on the PC, the PC version does, but mobile-wise, it doesn't look like
yeah, so just do it on the PC. And Matt, by the way, Retcon5 in our chat room, has done some research and says, and this is interesting, if you don't have the name in your contact list, it will look in your email.
Yeah,
so
it can scan some other places, but it typically will show a maybe in front of it. It does maybe : and then it says the name. So if you're not seeing maybe : in that name, if you're just seeing the name, it's got to be pulling from somewhere. There are some integrations between messaging and phone apps that Apple provides, and so it could be that because it's in Viber, it's pulling from that. Because
maybe it just sees it and says, "Oh yeah, I know this." Yeah, in fact, that would make sense that the phone app is going, "Somebody must know who this is. Let me find it. It's got to be somebody." And then Viber, do you know who? And Viber goes, "Yes, I know. Of course, I know. Why wouldn't I know? I'm Viber. I know everything." How are things in Montenegro? Do you get cold winters there, or you're on the Aegean?
Well, yeah, it gets cold pretty.
Such a beautiful, beautiful country.
I mean, it's raining cats and dogs.
Okay, but no snow.
No, we're too
far south. Yeah.
Yeah, south. Yeah.
Beautiful Aegean Sea. You ever been to Montenegro, Micah?
I've never been out of the country.
I know what? Okay. We're going to send you out of the country.
I guess I'm going to Montenegro.
You're going to Montenegro.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Videc. Have a great day. I still have my Montenegro cap. I'll give you that. You can wear that as your app cap.
Perfect.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls coming up. The GizWiz, too. Zaba zaba zubiza. That was a weird one with Videc. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get that one. Every once in a while we'll get these puzzlers. But, syncing is always
syncing can be
a constant issue.
And, I talked about it before. I had an IFTTT thing set up that I didn't remember.
Yeah,
that I had
if you
set
forget,
up.
He could have done that easily, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he set up some other thing and he forgot about it. That's very common.
I was going, where are all of these photos disappearing to?
Leo Laporte, the tech guy, Micah Sargent, Tech Guy 2. Answering your calls at 8888 Ask Leo. Dan is on the line from Vancouver, Canada. Hello, Dan.
Well, hello there, and for now I'm going to say Micah Sargent and Lieutenant Leo. I think he's ranked.
Sergeant Micah, Lieutenant Leo. I like it.
I can dig it.
Forgive the spelling.
Welcome to the squad room.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, hey, watch it, guys. Watch. Oh, earlier in the show, I meant to tell you this. This is the funniest thing. You were talking about swear words on the radio. Don't worry, it's not going.
Careful. Professor Laura's got her hand hovering over that big red button.
Not anywhere near it. I had a teacher who used to be a broadcaster, and every time in class he'd want to swear, he'd say Farnsworth.
Yes.
Which is a pioneer in television broadcasting.
Yeah, Philo T. Farnsworth. He invented the TV set, yes.
Of course you would know.
I would know Philo T. Farnsworth is.
I don't have to pull up Wikipedia for you.
My favorite is The Good Place, because they can't swear on that TV show because they're in heaven or something like it.
That's right.
And so they try to swear, and it
just doesn't come out.
I know. I want to teach myself all those words so I can use those. Yeah.
But
Shut the front door.
Reply for me. For me, it's always Farnsworth.
Farnsworth is good.
Great. Maybe
I like
there's a chance I'll get to have it.
I like it. What can I? By the way, you must have been a broadcaster yourself, Dan. You sound like it.
I listen to you all day. You see, this is what I do. I just have you on, and it fixes all my.
Aww.
I'll just use Leo as my voice coach.
Oh, you sound great. You'd be great on the air. Wouldn't he?
Well,
Yeah,
I agree.
Small confession. My question is about podcasts, but it's not for me. I'm too afraid. You put a microphone in front of me, I'll probably faint.
Oh, I don't think so, Dan. You're great. You enunciate. You emote. You've got a great.
There's a good
You could
flow,
totally do
cadence.
this. Yeah.
For the call.
You could put one word after the other. You're good.
In the right order too. What
Even
a concept.
even in order. Except for that Micah Sargent thing. But other than that, okay.
Yes, yeah, well, what can you do? Hey, it's Canadian. I apologize. I'm sorry, but we still love you. Sorry, that's a throwback to one of your other.
Oh, yeah. Canadians
we love you.
are hysterical. You know, if you step on their feet, they say, so sorry.
I really do that. I really do that.
That's why I love Canada. And I love Vancouver. Beautiful area.
From Asia, and nobody stepped on my feet. The minute I got into Canada, somebody stepped on my foot, and I thought, well, what are the odds of that?
Sorry.
But I said sorry. I'm sorry.
We're going to be in Vancouver on the Twit Cruise in July.
Oh, I'm going to wave at you. I'm going to wave and go, hello.
Actually, maybe we're... No, you know what? It's going to be Victoria. We're going to be sailing by Vancouver. We will in BC. We'll be in BC.
Very easy. I'll take the ferry over and I'll wave.
Nice.
You see a big fat guy wearing a green shirt. It's like, hi, it's me.
It's Dan.
How's it going?
Dan, did you started a question and I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No,
you want to do a podcast?
But I don't want to do
a friend.
No, definitely not. I will faint in front of a microphone.
Friend.
My friend wants to do a podcast. And I am a geek. I love your Twit.tv network. I listen to your show. So, of course, I recommended like $20,000 of gear because I'm
going to save you some money. I'll tell you what I hope my son's not listening. I'll tell you what I got my son because he wants to do a podcast too. And I take it this is audio only, yes?
Audio only, but you know what? Everything is now audio and video. So I of course, suggested A10 switchers and routers.
Yeah, and please don't do that. Don't do that.
Especially
on
an initial investment.
Yeah. Well, also, it's not just the money. I mean, it adds a huge amount of complexity. We do it, but I don't recommend it. So there's a company called Zoom, not the video company, but ZoomCorp.com. They make microphones, podcast stuff. They just announced, and this is my son's Christmas present, a really cool, don't tell him.
I hear nothing.
A really cool recorder / mixer. So this is the issue with podcasting. The computer, your laptop is really a great start for any podcast, but you can only get one microphone into it. So now I need a mixer to have multiple microphones. And it's easier and Zoom makes little handy recorders. They make the really great recorders, but they now make something called the Pod Track.
Ooh.
Pod Track with a K at the end. They make a 4-track recorder, which means 4 microphones for $219. And if he's going to have many more people, I mean, most people 4 is enough for a podcast, right?
I think so. And those inputs, it could be anything, I suppose. It could be like one of the inputs from a computer or...
well, that's an interesting question. I haven't tried that, but yes, I'm going to guess that it has mic inputs, so you can use standard microphones on it. But I think
you've already saved me $19,800.
I know. I bet I did.
I think we're on the right track.
I bet I did. Yeah. I'm going to guess it also has an audio input because that really you'd want that for sound effects and music and all that stuff. The recorder is built in. It records onto SD cards. It has a couple of headphone jacks. You can get audio into it. It has, in fact, it doesn't use standard XLRs like microphone. Oh, it does. It has. Oh wow, it's got both. It's got a mixer. It's everything you need for $200. I think this is brilliant. ZoomCorp.com, the Pod Track 4. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So this for a voice podcast, or even if you're going to play some music, I think this would be a really good solution. Anyway, it's what I got, Henry.
That is very, very good. I'm all kidding aside, you really saved me, by the way.
Well, you want something simple. First of all, how many people, say, I'm going to do a podcast and 2 weeks later go, what podcast?
Yeah, but Leo was an excuse for me to spend someone else's money.
I love those.
They didn't have, though. That's the problem.
I learned my lesson because my daughter was going to do this. So I went out and got her fancy mixer and microphones and all this stuff. And it was too complicated for her. And
Are you looking to adopt by any chance?
What did I do with all that, actually? I think I gave it back to John. John, I think we have it, right? It's part of our massive gear collection. But it's just too complicated. The Zoom is so much simpler. It's got 4 knobs, for the volume in a little meters on for the volume, and then it's got 4 knobs for the headphone jacks. It's really just like a little thing that does a 4-person podcast in this very compact form.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. You don't want. I guess I didn't want to overwhelm her either at first. Get her all.
Well, that's what I did to my daughter. I mean, it just killed her because she's so complicated. And you need this thing you mixed with an iPad, and the whole thing was just crazy.
Oh no!
He'll need microphones. He'll need microphones, but you don't need. You can use any kind of microphone. I would get the inexpensive Shure SM 58s because they have a good sound. They're pretty, unbreakable. And you'll need a cable, and you might need a mic stand for each microphone, that kind of thing. But if you look at Zoom Corp, they'll show you all the stuff. They even sell the microphones.
When she becomes big and famous, I'll be sure
that's
that
nice.
The credits where it's due.
What does she want to do? What kind of podcast?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. She's kept it mum and quiet and silent. I said, well, that's
actually smart.
No. Later, you're going to have to yell out.
Later, she could tell the world. Yeah, exactly.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Well, Leo, as always, you've saved $19,895.
You need an A10 Mini. You need 4 HD cameras. You need lights. You need,
lighting involved, Leo. Lighting.
Don't do lighting. Yeah, just do audio. I told Henry wants to do video too. Everybody wants to do video. I said, don't do video, please.
Well,
just do.
Then you've got to do me a favor. You've got to take my URL, my IP address. I mean, you've got to block your twit.tv. So I can't keep looking at your equipment list going, I need that's great.
Oh, no, yeah, watching Mac Break Weekly and spending all that money.
I feel very lucky. We got so much good stuff. And
you've got good toys, but you put them to good use, which is much better than just sitting in a garage somewhere 20 years from now. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
you are right.
I agree. Hey, pleasure to talk to you. Nice to meet you, Dan.
Thank you so much, Leo. I'll wave at you. Have a great cruise.
Thank you.
Bon voyage.
Be good. See you later, Micah.
Bye-bye.
Kind of sweet guy.
Yeah.
Bottom of the hour coming up. Let me look at this Revelator. Revelator digital auction. Oh, it's all software. Well, that's the other thing. In fact, I should have mentioned this. Anchor.fm really is all you on your phone is all you really need to do a podcast. You'd still need a way to mix microphones, but if it's just one person, man, Anchor makes it so easy to do a podcast. I wish Twit would be a different thing because I wouldn't have had to
build it all from the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Build it all from the ground up. Have you seen her Christmas special?
No, because I don't want to watch her. I want to stay very far away from her.
It's terrible. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo with apologies to all the Mariah Carey fans.
Indeed, I do apologize to you all.
Including my wife, Lisa, who loves Mariah. But you like Queen Bee.
Yes. I'm not going to talk on the radio about the things. There are reasons
that you don't like Mariah.
They're complex and have to do with identity, and so I'm not going to get into that on the podcast.
Wow. I think we've tapped into a rich vein of Freudian psychology, but we won't go down that road. Let's go to Lex in Richmond, Virginia next. Hi, Lex.
Hi, Leo. Thank you for having me on. Hey, my question is ultimately going to be about phone security, but finally a joke I've wanted to tell you for years is in context, and I know it's a family show. Can I do it?
Yeah. What do you mean? You mean is it not a family joke?
No, it's a family joke.
Good. Then go right ahead. I don't want any adult jokes, but if it's kids safe, go right ahead.
What kind of pants do security experts wear?
What kind of pants do security experts wear? I don't know. What kind?
Security breaches.
Security breaches. That's what we call a dad joke, Lex.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. A dad joke is not one you laugh at. It's when you go, oh.
Exactly. Like, I get it.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. No, I love it. That's good. You made that up yourself, I think.
I'm afraid.
What can I do for you, Lex?
Leo, I may have reviewed a certain phone on a website, the Zeeker P10. It's an unknown name. There's 12 reviews at Amazon, but I own one now, and it's heavy duty. It's submersible, not bad specs, but unknown company, so unknown.
It's actually not an unknown company. It's from Xiaomi, which is, I believe, the second or third largest phone company in the world.
Well, I'm embarrassed now.
Well, no, you wouldn't know because it's a Chinese company. They rarely sell phones in the U.S., although I've had a number of Xiaomi phones that I love, that I think are fantastic. Maybe it isn't Xiaomi. I might be mistaken on this. It's going to be some Chinese company that makes it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I think I'm going to retract what I said because maybe it's not Xiaomi. It might be Zeeker, which is definitely not who makes it. 108 megapixel rugged smartphone, drop proof from 1.8 meters, which is taller than Micah. IP68 and 69K plus mil-spec 810G. All that means is dust and waterproof. Super steady video. That could mean just, as long as you hold your hand steady. IR night vision. So what do you think? You like it?
It's been fun, and sometimes I just get bored with what I've got, so I like.
Yeah, and it was inexpensive, right? It's like $350.
Yeah, and mine came because I reviewed it. But what I'm thinking is they're promising a mid-December update.
Yeah, because it's Android 11 right now. That is the security question you're going to ask, huh? So Android phones. There's two kinds of updates to Android phones. I've mentioned this before. There's the annual Android update from 10 to 11, 11 to 12. That's usually feature updates. It's kind of like Microsoft releasing, mid-year Windows 10 update. But then there's the monthly Android security updates, and those are the ones you care about. Who cares if I get the features of Android 12, Material U, or whatever? I want to make sure my phone is secure. Are you getting security updates? Here's how you check. You go into the settings of the phone. You look under the phone. Usually it says system or something like that. There'll be an update section, and you can see what the latest update is. On my Pixel phone, when is the latest security update?
It's September, and they're promising a December update.
September's not bad.
I've had Motorola's that update twice a year, and I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that's why September ain't bad. A Pixel from Google will update monthly.
That's right.
And that's when Google puts out the updates to Android. And then it's a matter of the manufacturer and the carrier to get it to you. And it's expensive for the carriers and it's expensive for the manufacturer. So I'm looking at my Pixel and its latest update is November. It's got the November 5th update. Although any minute now we'll get the December update. So September isn't bad.
A couple days ago.
Did they promise a monthly update, or have they made any claims?
No word there. They say they're testing a December update.
Perfect.
But beyond that, we don't know.
They support Google Pay, which means they're fully into the Google security ecosystem. And I'm going to bet you anything, if you're going to support Google Pay, Google has requirements about how often you need to update it. Wow. So I'm going to say you're probably all right. I always recommend for people who use Android phones that you check with the manufacturer and see what kind of commitment they have to updates, because it's really important. Some will say we're going to give you monthly updates for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. Some no updates at all. The cheaper Android phones, sometimes you get nothing. And and the Zeeker P10, I don't know, may or may not be one that gets regular updates. I got to figure out who Zeeker is.
How many months would you count off without a update?
Ideally you'd get every month, right? But that's not practical. Many phone manufacturers, it's 6 months, as you said. So I think if your update, September's great, relatively. If you didn't have anything like from July or later, I would be a little nervous. 6 months would be the absolute minimum. The problem is whenever these updates come out, it's an announcement to the hacker community. There's a problem. We're going to fix it. And that means the hacker community says, oh, good, because most people are not going to do it. So let's hack those people.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your input. I'll pull up my security breaches and keep an eye on it.
This Zeeker, so did you like it overall?
I did. I think the weakest 2 points are very minor. One is the sides of it are slick as greased Teflon, and the screen is right up flush with the built-in heavy-duty case.
Right.
So if it goes screen down, it's going to crack.
But tell me a phone that won't, unless you have a cover over the screen. Yeah, I can't. I'm looking at. I don't see who makes this. It must be a company named Zeeker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Xiaomi, but that's because I was seeing a review on a Xiaomi site. But it's not. It's not actually Xiaomi.
Oh yeah.
And it's using a slower processor, the MediaTek, which is okay. It's not going to be the fastest, but for the price, you don't expect a Snapdragon 855. You're going to get something a little less. So that's interesting. You know what? My daughter breaks her phone pretty much like clockwork every third month. So this may be her next phone. Does it seem pretty rugged?
It does.
Except for that display down problem.
I may get some E-grips or something for the sides and not fear dropping it. But supposedly it'll stand the drop anyway.
Nice.
All right. It seems as fast as my Pixel 3a.
Yeah, I mean, the Pixels from Google are the kind of gold standard for an Android phone.
Yeah.
It's not as fast as your 3A, or it is?
It feels the same.
The same. That's pretty good. Nice. That's about what you'd expect. Yeah. Couple-of-year-old phone. That's about what you'd expect. It's got a big battery. Battery life pretty good?
It's a battery with a phone built in.
Yeah, 6,000 milliamp hours. It should get very good battery life.
It does that.
The only thing I'm not crazy about, it says it has its own Zeeker UI on top of Android. That would be a showstopper for me. I don't know who Zeeker is and why they have their own user interface, but that's why I like Motorola, why I like Pixel. They don't mess with Android.
It's a pretty clean Android experience.
Is it? Okay.
They have some apps for use outdoors. They've got a barometer and a level and a plumb bob.
That's fun.
Some stuff you'd use outdoors.
Every phone should have a plumb bob.
I agree.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Lex, a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for calling. The GizWiz coming up next. Zeeker.
That's my little brother's name is Ezekiel. And
it's Ezekiel.
Called him Zeeker.
It's got to be a Chinese company.
I saw Netherlands.
Oh.
Was the closest thing I was
you know what? Netherlands might make sense. Zeeker would be a Dutch word.
Zika.
Visit the Zeeker store. Zeeker, dare to explore. From the Zeeker store. I bet the camera's not great even. Whenever I see 108 megapixels,
I know, I'm like, what are you compensating for?
They also have a Zeeker watch for $50.
Maybe it's another Wyze style deal, sort of.
Yeah, I should never. It's more expensive. It's got a support endoscope. Night vision IP60. Huh. Ideal Christmas present for your family. Well, certainly for anybody who drops phones a lot.
And who needs a plumb bob?
Yeah.
The plumb bob phone.
Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how you doing, pal?
Marvelous. Marvelous.
Marvelous, darling. Marvelous.
Marvelous. Who the hell makes this thing?
Where are you, Zeeker?
Is it Zeeker?
I just want to know more.
Have you ever heard of the Zeeker phone?
I think Mattel makes that.
Yeah. HiZeeker.com. It says Zeeker is a global let's read about.
About you.
About Zeekers.
Tell me more.
Wear your sneakers when you use your Zeeker. It's fueled by geek DNA. Zeeker, our philosophy is dare to explore. Yeah, it doesn't say where they are. Dare to explore. And it has people doing exploring things. Connect with us on Twitter. Let's see what language.
Just tweet at them. Where are you from?
Who are you? Where are you from? Zeeker. Well, I might get this for my daughter. Zeeker. Huh. Well, they got a little plug. It's funny how 108 megapixels sounds better than 12 megapixels, but it's almost always not.
It's a lot of data that's not being like properly handled.
A lot of megapixels.
Yeah.
They have the Zeeker watch and the Zeeker phone. They got to be. Dutch would make sense with a name like Zeeker.
With a name like Zeeker.
It
has
got to be good. Yeah, I saw the AliExpress listing. That's why I thought it was Xiaomi. I do not know. Yeah, Zeeker would make sense if it's Dutch. How does this happen? You get a phone, but nobody knows where they came from.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
A little fearful.
I see a review on Take Radar.
Did you see the one of those reviews had a link to Target?
Yeah, is that selling
Target
it?
seems
It's a brand new thing that I'm not. I wonder if Jason Howell
knows.
Perth Amboy.
Perhaps.
Zeeker, a tech company, developed outdoor smart devices. Oh yeah, they started with outdoor smart devices.
Wyze no longer available.
Zeeker engineers, available globally October 10th. Come to Europe the following months. Zeeker is a global technology brand providing rugged smartphones and smart hardware with a remarkable experience for outdoor enthusiasts. It's fueled by geek DNA.
Where do you get the DNA?
We get it from geeks.
I need 2 gallons of a geek for my phone.
Well, I'm seeing their press release, but it comes out of PR Newswire and Perth Amboy, so I don't know where Zeeker's based. That makes me a little nervous. Who's going to support the Zeeker? Get up and boogie. Oh, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the boogie fever, and the boogie fever is in me because it's time for the Gizwiz. That's right. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how you doing, pal? And what are you throwing on the floor? I just hear
threw
it.
peace on the floor.
I just knocked peace on earth onto the floor. And so that's that on that. I don't think that's an omen. I hope it's not an omen.
No, it's pieces on earth now.
Dick is, as you probably could tell, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. He's also a gizmo wizard from gizwiz.biz. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, pal. Everything good there?
How happy holidays. I know it's something. Happy holidays.
Yeah, well, the same to you.
Yeah.
Yes, the same to you.
There's some reason why I have poinsettias everywhere, and that must be that.
I think it is that.
And you've got your light-up Christmas tree there behind you.
I have my laser Christmas tree, my fiber optic tree.
Wow. It's very festive in Disneyland.
Very festive.
Now, Dick joins us every week with a gadget or a gizmo of some form or fashion. What do you got?
It fits right into what you're talking about. I have 2 easy ways to help you decorate for Christmas. Easy, inexpensive. One of them is called...
I have one. It's called Burke.
Oh.
On Tuesday...
Oh, that's the easiest.
On Tuesday, I realized it's December, and I yelled, Burke, get the Christmas decorations. And within about 5 minutes, he was a little grumpy. He threw decorations all over the set, and it looks great.
Oh, no, it does.
Maybe next year we'll get one of these Aive brick wall clips.
Well, yes, it's called... Well, this is for the outside of the building, okay?
Oh, yes.
It's brick clips, and basically, you put the little claw part at the top of the brick, and then you hit the bottom of this in, and then it sticks, and now you have 2 hooks to hang lights or wreaths or anything from, and it can hold up to 25 pounds. So they're really an easy way to decorate the outside of a building.
Deck the halls with Aive brick clips. La, la, la,
now,
la, la, la.
I found that when a building like mine is 130 years old, the bricks don't have that nice sharp edge.
No. In fact, I'd be careful hitting them with a hammer if I were you.
Well, not only that, I was worried that I had to break one of them out of the wall so I could do that little demo. But fortunately, the building is still standing.
You found a street brick.
Yes, a street brick. Exactly.
Okay,
exactly. The other thing is called stocking holders. And again, neither one of these need screw, nails, or glue. Stocking holders just slide onto the mantle.
Oh, that's clever.
And then from it, you can hang a stocking. I'm not sure about
Where
a
can I
wreath.
get
It
a
says-
mantle? That's what I need. Oh, you could also put it on your ear. That's nice.
Well, yes, you can. While you're carrying it around, it's a place to store it until you get to where you want. They're also very.
By the way, I'm looking at the video you posted at gizwiz.biz.
Yes.
Is this your house with this big mantelpiece and fireplace?
That's Dennis's house.
But doesn't he live in the same building as you?
Yes.
How come he rates?
I'll tell you how come he rates. Is the tenant who lived there before him was there for like 50 years, and it was the only apartment in the building that had never been renovated. And when he moved in, I said to Dennis, get $200 and go up and talk to the guys who are renovating the apartment and just say, I want to pre-tip you because there's certain things I want.
A
like
pre-tip?
Yes. The fireplace to stay the way it is, and those shutters that fold in back of the window.
The old stuff. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Keep
And they
that.
said, listen, that's fine with us.
He has cardboard floors, but other than that, it's great.
Exactly. Well, it's okay because I live below him, so all the drippings come into my apartment. And I don't complain because I'm
Very
married
nice.
to the guy.
So, well, that's what happens when you get married. You share drippings. So, I don't. That sounds like something terrible. So, so two things. One, that you hammer into your bricks. Here in California, there's not a lot of bricks. But bricks not included. I guess you'd have to have bricks.
No,
those mantle clips though are actually quite nice.
And you have those?
Because I've got a fireplace. I've got a mantle.
Nice.
And so not having to put holes in the
you don't want to put holes in the mantle.
You just slide it on, and if the mantle is a different thickness, they said there's like 2 inches of adjustable just by bending it.
Because a little metal thing that you go on.
Yes, exactly. And it come in silver and in gold. I don't think it's real gold and real silver.
Probably not. No.
They're just for $12.99, but they're
nice.
very convenient.
I like the name. These.
Yeah.
And do you have, as you often do you have a link to Amazon on your webpage so that we can easily
I certainly do.
acquire
I
these
certainly,
just in
I
time for
certainly
decorating for the holidays?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Giz, the website. By the way, these can't be the company's names.
That's what I said. It's so funny. Janube and Ivy.
No, I know. Well, Chad's take on that is these Amazon companies smash their head into a keyboard.
That's my name, Judah.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
I want to. So the sound that an old car makes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, because AIEVE brick wall clips and JANEUBE Christmas stocking holders, neither of which are
Jane Ube.
They do not roll off your tongue.
They do not roll off the tongue. Let's hope these brick wall clips don't roll off your brick wall, or stocking holders roll off your mantle. You can find these, plus everything Dick's ever mentioned on this show, and on all the other shows he appears on, including ABC's World News Now, at his website, gizwiz.biz, GIZWIZ.biz. There's also, while you're there, click on the link that says, What the Heck Is It? It's a chance to play the What the Heck Is It contest, a close-up picture of a gizmo or a gadget. Can you guess what that is, Micah? Don't say it out loud.
I won't say it out loud, but
you kind of know what that is, isn't it? This is the easiest
young
one
enough
ever.
to even know that? Okay, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Even the youngs know this one. But you will be playing for this, and thank you. Micah and I both got our
Yes,
Mads.
thank you.
Oh, great.
Autographed by Dickie D. You'll be playing for the February 2022 Mad Magazine. What Me Vengeance? It's all, I guess, Batman stuff.
It's all Batman stuff.
Nice. That looks really fun. And Dick wrote the parody for the animated Batman called Batsman, the anemic series.
As opposed to Batman, the animated series.
Oh, I get it. Okay, good. Oh, Batman, my Batman. I guess a parody of Walt Whitman. I don't know.
Yes.
Wow, this is great. So I'm a big fan of Mad Magazine. By the way, if you're at Dick's website, gizwiz.biz, he has a few copies left of his memoir, Good Days in Mad, which is a must-read for anybody who's a fan of Mad Magazine. Other memorabilia, match game memorabilia. It's a great, I think for the holidays, great place to shop for the kind of the humor nerd in your life. And of his podcast, let's not forget, gizwiz.tv. He does that with Chad Johnson. Well, Dick, I'll be here next week. You'll be here next week?
Yes. And then we're off for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
because the following Saturday is, I hear something called Christmas Day. And then the following week after that is, I think, something called New Year's Day. So we've lucked out this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's still some debate. Professor Laura has not explained to me if I'm working the day after Christmas or the day after New Year's. We haven't figured that out yet. But that won't affect you. So
no.
Thank you, Dickie D. We'll talk next week.
Buddy.
All right.
I'll be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Laura, musical director. Thank you to Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Thank you so much, Micah Sargent, Tech Guy 2. We're going to wrap this up for the week, but we'll be back next time. I hope you will, too. Thanks mostly to all the people who listen to this show. Mike and I would just be sitting here chatting without it. Wouldn't be as much fun.
It's true.
Yep. Have a great Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.